With no further ado, I'll turn it over to the Presido.
Nice little rhyming.
Thanks.
Okay, for the active projects, I know that Warihana shared with me an update as far as the grant projects. There weren't no update there for the grant projects, but she's been working on. Oh yeah, you go ahead and tell the group, Warihana, what your plan and your priorities were for this week.
Okay, so one of my priorities was to update the website with the 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 statistics from the work we did from Bambuli. So our impact metrics should increase by the number of people we reached from that event. And then I added some images from the event, and I added some text emphasizing the positive results that we got. So one in 22 in Bamboli, the people who reached tested positive for HIV, Hep B or Hep C. So that was also added. So basically on the website, I just added some of the pictures from the Bamboli event, added some text talking about the event, and then increased our metrics or number of people reached by the number of people that we reached at the Bamboli event. So that was the first thing, and that has been done.
Nice. Thank you
Then
for doing that.
yeah, the second thing was to complete the FID application, and that's the one that I need the referees for.
Yeah.
I have spoken to Salam, and he said he will get me the contact details of the MCE of Kushegu. So once I have that, and I don't know, were you able to forward the request letter to um, our accountants in the
Yeah, I
US?
have. I'm sorry so much, Warhana. I have not. I have been focused on the next version of the Shield app and the workflow on the ground so that Salam can get the budget approved for the next project.
Okay.
And so I have not
Oh.
done that. I haven't even. He's trying to formalize the budget because we have all of those people to hire as well. And so part of the new version of the Shield app is to do the automation of the applications and the contracts for all of those individuals coming on board. And so I apologize, I haven't even looked at the grant because I know it's in the grant channel because I know it's in there waiting for me and I want to do it, but I just have not had time. so,
Good. All
so
right.
Yeah,
That's
no, I have looked over the letter though, and it looks good. So hopefully Anderson will be fine. In submitting this for us. So that's
and
a good
and and
job.
this is kind of the weird thing is that I don't know if you guys know this is that like the way that our agreement with Anderson is we're only allowed to have one person contact them, and that's
okay.
me, and that's me at this point in time. So like we pay for essentially one, they don't want like everybody on the team communicating with them. So they literally locked it
Mm,
down to essentially it needs to come like from my email address or they don't address it.
okay.
And unfortunate otherwise I would just say Warhana reach out to them or I would say President
Yeah.
reach out to them and do this for me. But I'm gonna look at my inbox right now because the last message I sent to them,
Mm,
uh, the last message I sent to them regarding the taxes and an update was on the 24th of June, so more than 10 days ago. And I know that this is a difficult time because of holidays, and so they have
okay.
not gotten back to me on the taxes. So I need to do the follow up on the taxes. And when I do, that's when I'm going to include the reference letter. So it's good that the president looked it over. I'm sure it looks great.
Okay.
I will include it when I follow up on that. I just feel like my priority right now is getting the Shield app done, not for the event, so that the application portion and the flow on the ground, so the budget can be confirmed, because Salam has a lot of purchasing to do as well. So I
Okay.
apologize if that's down on my list, and you're waiting for me on that. I will try to get to it as quick as I can.
Because there's no deadline, right, for the FID?
Yeah. There's no deadline. They accept applications on rolling basis, so you can take your time whenever you can. Then you send it to them.
Okay, thank you
Okay.
so much for
Yeah.
that. I appreciate your patience with me on that. I will get to it just as quickly as I can get these, because the President
Okay.
and Elizabeth have 90 plus people to hire before the next event as well, which seems crazy to me. I don't know that I think we're definitely going to have to push this one out. We're running up, and we have 90. We also have over 100 phones to stage, and those all,
Right.
well, they all seem on the back of Ben, and fall there, and you as well, helping in the office or whatever you might be able to do, is also, it also means all of the email accounts have to be set up, all of the forwarding, all of the tracking on the back end. So there's even a good bit of
Yeah.
work for me to do on that as well. So I'm kind of prioritizing that as we push towards this next major layout change of the event. Yeah. So
Yeah.
thanks for your understanding on that.
Yeah. Sure. So the fund in innovation grants is one of the opportunities that I really feel good about,
Okay.
because they don't talk about 501c, they don't talk about your registration, they don't even talk about audited reports or any of that. They
Okay.
just want you to be a registered organization that is working towards, that is supporting people living in poor areas,
Uh-huh.
and then there should be a component of uh, women empowerment in it. Yeah.
Nice.
And yeah, so I feel good about that, because then I don't have to wonder about, is he a
Yeah.
public charity or private operating, those kind of things. But
Yeah.
um, they request for a budget, so they gave us a template to complete a budget and share
Okay.
as part of the application. I've put together the budget, so I will schedule a meeting with you, Kevin, and Abbie, and then we go through it. But one of the components in the budget, a mandatory component, is an audit
Ooh.
um, at the end of the project. So let's say your project runs for 3 years, then at the end of the first year, you complete a budget,
Hmm.
sorry, an audit. At the end of the second year, you complete an audit,
Okay.
and then the same for the third year. So for them, they are just interested in how you spent their money, and
Okay.
that is what they want the audit to be done on. They don't really care about how your other financials are, or if you have audited reports. Yeah,
Okay. And
and
and so sorry, Warhana, just really quick. Um, the most accurate, most detailed numbers are coming out of the 05 project. um, and the budget in there. So I don't know where you're working with numbers, but yesterday, literally yesterday, last night,
mm,
I don't even know, 12 o'clock in this morning. I don't know what time it was, but
yeah.
I literally broke down the wages into the exact roles that are needed on the ground. So instead of having a blanket 65 contractors, we now have 10 people to do vitals. We have 10 people to give vaccines. So the most
Mhm.
accurate budget is going, if you want that kind of detail, and I don't know if it's required or not, but it will really show that we are accounting for every dollar, is the most accurate budget numbers. They haven't been approved yet because Salam is
Mhm.
working on those, and we'll get an update from him today.
Okay.
But the 05 project, I created, I believe, 13 new items that are all specified now and break down costs
Mhm.
within that budget. So it is the most accurate, most detailed budget essentially we've ever done. And so if you're looking for
Mm.
detail regarding to show them just where the money's going, that might be a place to look, especially after we get Salam done. Because the thing that
Okay.
the '05 budget does as well is it puts the project into the new workflow on the ground with wristbands and clinic
Is it
units.
just me or Kevin is breaking?
Oh, sorry.
Can you hear us okay? Or are we breaking up?
Yeah.
Sorry. Was I breaking up, Ben?
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
I
you
can.
were.
Okay, I could hear.
You could hear
Okay,
okay?
I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I was just saying that the budget there for '05 includes all of the new layout for the event, all of the clinic units, all of the tables, all of the chairs, all of those things that
Mm-hmm.
are the quote unquote new way that we're going to do things. The wristbands, all of that is there. So you might want to look to the '05 project for some budgeting ideas especially once we get it approved.
Yeah. So I've used Notebook LM a lot in the budget preparation,
Uh-huh.
and Notebook said it has our our line item figures, but
Yeah.
once the budget for Project 5 is approved, I'll cross check against what Notebook LM helped me to generate. But then the
Yeah.
way I've set up the budget, I've set it up in activities,
Okay.
and that's even the template they give us. So, for example, one component is the wash anchor development. So that's the hydro siting, the
Right.
drilling, the construction, and then the installation of the hand pump.
Right.
Then another activity is the viral shield, so the vaccinations.
Yeah.
And then another activity is the safe blanket,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's the deworming and
The
um
pads. Or
yeah,
the culture is the pads, I suppose.
yeah. So the safe blanket is the deworming,
Mm-hmm.
and tier three is sorry, tier four. That's activity four is the societal shield distribution, and this one is the condoms, the sanitary pads,
Right.
and all of that. And
Mm-hmm.
then I have the smart grid logistics,
Mm-hmm.
fleet, and tech. So
Okay,
this
great.
one include the purchase of 20 heavy duty tents and tables.
Mm-hmm.
40 medical tables. So 20 heavy duty tents,
Okay.
40 medical grade tables,
Okay.
and yeah. So that is it. So the
Okay.
tables, the
Yeah, no,
tents, and then I'm thinking of, I don't know what you think, what you think about this. Since the events will be regular, I just added a component on acquiring a U-turn bus that we can be using for our events
yeah.
instead of always renting, because the money is 1.5 million um,
Mm-hmm.
euros.
Yeah.
So we can take, let's say, $140,000 from that and get a bus, because they are also looking at how we are saving costs, how we are making good use of our money. And I think one way is to have your assets so that you don't have to always spend money on renting. But we can discuss that. Another thing that falls under this is the smartphones. So
Right.
100 Samsung Android devices. So this particular activity, that's the smart grid logistics, is the
Mm-hmm.
phones, bars, the tables, and then the tents.
Okay.
Then
Yeah,
there's an
and
activity.
I would definitely cross-check the '05 project because just on yesterday's call with Ben and Salam, we were talking about a whole
Mhm.
bunch of things, but one of the things that came up was the need for the fifth row in the clinic unit, and this is where the distribution of the pads, the dewormers, and all of these things happen. And it required us to add
Mhm.
another 10 tables. It added
Okay.
another 10 phones, uh,
Mhm.
etc. So I don't know if Salam. We'll get to Salam and see if he's updated those. Probably not yet, but I'm not sure. But as I said, the whole ground, I think the whole ground game has really and is still evolving. So that I think that it's great
Yeah.
to use Notebook LM for past events and also the 05 project to see. I think right now Salam's got us down for 15 canopies. I think we're over 40.
Okay.
I think we might be 50 tables now. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know the exact numbers, but the other thing is the chairs. And part of the problem that we have,
Yeah.
and the reason that we've this is just an FYI, and Salam or Ben can jump in and agree or disagree, and you as well, or Hannah, is that the reason that I think we've postponed purchasing things like tables and chairs and canopies is simply because, and PA systems, is simply because we don't have a place to store them. And we don't want to clutter our office in such a way that it becomes a storage unit. And so
Okay.
and we also, the other reason that we didn't want to purchase things like those is that uh, in one of the results that is on the that is in the plan, it talks about how many jobs we create,
Mm-hmm.
and by essentially having people come and help set up chairs and deliver chairs and things, we actually are providing jobs. Um,
Okay.
so I don't know. That's something to think about and look at as well. I don't know. Again, I can't remember uh, budget and specs. Yeah, here's like the table counts. We're now at 55. Chairs were at 265. 105 phones. But there was a place on here, like I said, that said how many jobs we created. Maybe it was in the flow. I don't know. Anyhow, yeah,
Okay.
it's definitely evolving as we speak. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that row five, you can now see um, when you go to the refresh of the clinic flow. I don't know. I
Yeah,
believe I sent that. Did I?
I think you did, but let's let Warihana finish.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. No
Yeah.
worries.
Okay.
Mhm.
I just was sharing where it was.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
okay. So yeah, I will schedule a meeting to discuss the budget with you and Presido,
Okay.
and then I also needed to design a theory of change diagram and an evaluation methodology diagram. I've done those as well. So when we meet, we'll discuss them.
Okay.
So that's it for the FID application. Now, the other thing that I wanted to work on this week was to reach out to two organizations for devices. So I've reached out to Intel and Turing Trust,
Uh huh.
yeah, for either smartphones or tablets.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I sent Armando a message just this afternoon,
Uh huh.
um, just to thank him for all they've been doing for Give Basic Needs,
Great.
and if there's anything I could support him with in his fundraising efforts. So I'm
Yeah.
waiting to hear back from him.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect, Warhana. If I could bring up just one really quick thing is that we had so so Haley who you know is works at a private school, and
Okay.
she has some very wealthy individuals that go to this school who are so
Okay.
it's a child school, but they are the parents of the children, and she was thinking about
Okay.
maybe developing a program around Ghana in general and cultural
Okay.
experiences, etc., and then maybe have some type of a fundraising event at the end, whether that's like
Okay.
a black tie event, or that's a a potluck where they eat the food that the children cooked, or there's music or
Mhm.
dancing, whatever it is. I don't know, but is what I'm
Okay.
wondering is I want we the thing came up and I said, it's really powerful for us to talk about the project, but it's even more powerful for somebody like yourself to talk about the project. Um, and I don't know, I didn't know
Right.
if you were able. I know you've traveled out of the country before, but are you able to travel to the U.S.? Do you know? I know that both Ben oh, at least Salam has tried, and that just seems to him to be impossible. But is it possible for you to travel to the
My
U.S.?
last trip was my last trip was to the UK. But if I'm able to get a visa to the US, yeah, I should be able to travel. The issue is getting the visa. But maybe if the foundation, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, maybe if the foundation invites me, then I could get it. And given that I have travel experience, it could be slightly easier for me to get it, to get a visa.
yeah. Okay. Well, I just wanted to see if there was what that was because if we did, I'm up for doing. We've kind of tried we've tried the grant routes, and we're doing really good things there, and we're waiting to hear, and things are going to come through. I know they are, but I also want to be able to pursue
Yeah.
the in-person type events, and I don't care where they are in the world. If we can set up a group in the UK of wealthy individuals to talk to, I'm up for helping fund the black tie
Mhm.
dinner and um, getting individuals on the ground to talk about the projects. I just don't know. We need to get the doctor.
Mhm.
We need to get the doctor. Maybe instead of focusing on all of these grant opportunities, maybe we should pivot. And this is a point in time that we need to talk one on one with the Dr. Kwakus of the world.
Okay.
And I know that
Yeah.
he's very busy right now, but maybe keep that open in your mind is that, what does it take for you to stand in front of Coca-Cola Ghana or MTN Ghana? Like put on an event and invite these individuals. Is this something that maybe we should think about? I don't know. I'm just trying to think of it outside because there's lots of ways to get donations. It's just how to do that. I don't know. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Chloe?
Yeah. But yeah, I think um the idea of coming to the US and actually speaking to people one on one is a great idea because the organization is registered in the US. It's something that people can easily buy into.
Hmm.
And hearing from someone who has the lived experience of what
Hmm.
actually goes on in the country and even in the communities that we are reaching would be a powerful message to them.
Hmm.
And like some souvenirs from Africa. So, for instance, it doesn't have to be the big things. Maybe just bracelets can also be sold. So in Ghana, maybe you could get it for one CD, but over there you could sell it for $1, and
Hmm.
that would be far far more than how much. So these are some of the other ways that we can actually raise funds. But yeah, coming to the US and actually speaking one on one with some of these individuals and organizations, yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah, or I was even thinking like maybe like at the university, your contact
I'm
at
just I'm
Arizona
just
State,
thinking.
yeah, maybe like your contact at Arizona State University, like having that contact. I don't know what the relationship is, but if that individual could organize or at
Right.
least bring the people
Hello.
together, then we could talk about or entertain the idea of you being in person or at worst, not worst because it's not a terrible idea, but literally putting you on a video call and just having an open thing. I know it's not the same as being here, but yeah, it's an idea that we should think about. And like I said, maybe those events take
Yeah.
place in Ghana, maybe they take place in the UK, maybe they take place here, but we need organizers who know people that have the resources. And maybe Haley does, maybe she doesn't, but I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there as an idea. Oh, I'm sorry. I
Hello.
don't. I think I think you broke up, Warihana.
Oh, lost her. Hmm. We'll wait for her to get
Okay.
back. I think that was all that she had that she was supposed to update on. Yeah. Did you?
Can I just ask a really quick question? In it, War, well, I was going to ask it when she was here, and I want to ask it, but she'll be right back, I assume. Ben and Salam, what do you guys think about capital expenditures of more vehicles like buses and things? I know they all come with maintenance, and we still need drivers. It just seems like I'd rather be buying vaccines than buses, but I don't know. Oh, there's Warhana. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, now I can. I was just asking Salam and Ben really quick to provide a little bit of their thoughts on the capex, the capital expenditures for things like buses. I really like to. I would rather buy vaccines than buses, just if I could. But I want to hear their thoughts on. I understand the reason why we would buy a bus. I just am concerned with the maintenance of the bus, the depreciation of the bus, on and on. Whereas providing jobs to somebody who provides us the bus, I just wanted to hear their thoughts really quick, as if they think that we should go down the road of pursuing more capital expenditures beyond the truck, as opposed to as things like buses. Salam, what are your thoughts? You may be muted, Salam.
Yeah, I think it depends if we'll be doing this for maybe a very long time, let's say the next 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
then buying a bus, I think, is a good idea because then when we look at the value of the
Mm-hmm.
vehicle compared to how much we'll be renting vehicles for the next 10 years, it will make a lot of sense to
Mm-hmm.
buy one.
Mm-hmm.
And maintenance on the vehicle will be less if we are just using it strictly for our events
Mm-hmm.
and as we are supposed to. So I think that um, we should. It will depend on the kind of vehicle we are going for and the lifespan of the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
The the how we intend to depreciate the vehicle. If we
Yeah.
are going for something like uh, we are going for a 10-year period, then it's okay to rent.
Uh-huh.
Or, I mean, it's okay to buy.
Right.
But if we are as an organization, if we are not too certain of how long we intend to go on this route, if there's a possibility that we might pivot completely from doing what we do right now in the next 3 years or 2 years, then I think that uh, we shouldn't invest in a highly capital expensive uh, equipment for such a short duration.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that I agree. Like, I don't know if you've looked, Salam, at the new numbers for the clinic flow on the version 3.6, but we're now calling, based on the changes, we're calling for the 22 seater. So obviously the truck will go with 5 people, but we're calling for the 22 seater still for the advanced team to go early. and now we're calling for the main body of contractors to go in the 60-seater bus. So I definitely wouldn't consider buying the 60-seater bus. That's just too big, too specific. But maybe the 22-seater would make sense for future events, regardless of what we do. Do you have any thoughts on that before I go to Ben?
Yeah, I think a 27 seater, I would say, just like the one we used for the April trip,
Uh-huh.
for me will be good. And that is Toyota. And Toyota is a, I mean, just like we considered when we're making a decision to buy the truck,
Right.
so those vehicles are really very durable and can last over a longer period.
Mm-hmm.
So I will agree with you on that.
Uh-huh. And Salam, really quick, where the hell would we park it?
Yeah, it's mostly in the office,
Yeah.
or if I'm home, um, then I just keep it in my garage.
Okay.
Because and that is something I've been discussing with the landlord to actually floor the compound of the office for us because of how the weed grows.
Uh-huh.
And I think we are making some progress. So today they've requested access to the compound
Okay.
to bring some masons to come and look at it and give them estimates. Then we'll see how we can collaborate and have it done.
Okay.
I'm trying as much as I can to push them to bear the entire cost.
Yeah.
And they are also pushing back, but hopefully it will be done because he just called me this evening and said the the construction guy will be coming tomorrow
Okay.
so that we can have an assessment of it.
Okay, so you think there's room to park a 27-seater bus on the property of the office?
Yeah, we
Okay.
can.
Okay. And then really quick before I go to Ben, how much would a vehicle like that cost if we were to buy it? So that Warihana has an idea as well. Is this a 50,000 US investment or is this more? I don't have any idea.
Yeah, I actually don't have an idea, but I think it will be around 70,000 dollars. Those vehicles are very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The,
but
the,
I can quickly check that through the dealership
uh-huh.
that I know.
Okay. And
Yeah.
the nice thing about the 27-seater, which again, that's the one we used, correct?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, the nice thing about that is that when we do bring people, if I'm hopeful that we can continue to bring people, right, on the happy travel or on these adventures with us to Ghana. And so, if that's the case, we wouldn't need to rent a bus then either.
Exactly.
So the
Yeah.
27 is far more practical than something like a 60-seater. Um, that really wouldn't fit on the property, I don't believe. So that's good information. So we'll keep that in mind. So Salam, you're a positive thumbs up on the 27-seater if we get the funding and that's what they want to fund and they don't want to buy just straight up vaccinations. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, great. Then let's go ahead and check with Ben what he thinks about the maintenance, the realistic nature of buying this versus buying. I mean, I'm gonna do the math because that's just the way I am. 70,000 US divided by 2.5 for a hepatitis. That's 28,000 vaccines. So Ben, what do you think about this idea of a bus?
Um, okay, I think it depends on sometimes the grants we are getting to execute that. We have some grants which categorically states areas they want to support you with. Some are willing to support you with logistics.
Mhm,
Some are willing to support you with the actual um, vaccines or the medication
mhm,
itself, and some it allows you to do whatever the organization wants to do with the funds. So I
mhm,
think if we're able to get an organization which is willing to support even with logistics or with transport or with a bus,
Mm-hmm.
I believe going for it, it's still fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I also agree with the type of bus we are looking at. Going for the 27 or 22 seater bus actually give us a bit of flexibility, even if we pivot from doing what we're currently doing to another event. It will still be very useful for us. Also, just as you mentioned with the April trip, when we have people visiting, we can still use that. So I think possibly if we are not willing to invest in that now with our own, and we are looking at grants, and we get one that we are willing to support us with that. I think it will be good taking it, because in the long run it also helps us a lot,
Mm-hmm.
taking into account the um, cost of renting vehicles all the time. In
Yeah.
a long term, if you consider that, you actually think getting the truck, a bus is useful. Just like with the truck, I see that now we have a lot of use for the truck, and I'm imagining if we were going to keep renting, maybe in the next 5 years we would have spent even the amount of what we use for the truck in paying for car rentals. Because with the boreholes,
Mm-hmm.
citing another thing, we go to the villages even sometimes more than 2 3 times a month.
Mm-hmm.
So renting all the time for this number of months we are looking at doing boreholes would have costed us a lot. So sometimes these expenses, even though just picking money to buy it at once or diverting some funds to do it at once might not seem a bit logical. But when we consider the long-term effect and how it will save us money, it will help. And
Mm-hmm.
also with the maintenance, I think it will depend on the usage. If it's not going to be used so heavily,
Mm-hmm.
we might not need to spend a lot all the time with maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good feedback. President, your thoughts?
No,
Thanks for that, Ben. That's good insight. I appreciate that.
yeah, no, it's definitely great insight, and I agree. That long term, I think it could be a good idea. I remember on our most recent trip, we had to return the bus early, because we had spent more and we're over budget or whatever. So to have that
Mm-hmm.
flexibility to be able to have it however long we want, just have to, hire a driver for it. I think it's a good way to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think that so I agree with the group, and I would say Warhana that if you find an opportunity where I'm still going to lean towards the 28,000 vaccinations because those save lives directly. But if you find someone who's only interested in doing capital expenditures or only interested in capex type grants, logistic base, I think then the 27 seater is probably a no-brainer for us because just like the truck, we if we're going to work in the north, we're going to need to move people regardless. And so that's what we've decided we're going to do. So moving those people in a 27 seat air conditioned Toyota bus with as little maintenance as possible, I think is warranted, and we should try to accomplish that if we can. Do you agree, Warahon, or have any additional feedback now that you've heard from everyone else?
Yeah, um, I agree. So this particular grant is an unrestricted grant, so you can
Mm,
use it for capital or operating or whatever you want to use the money for.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess in that case, for me, I would prefer to just do more events. Let's just do two a month if Salam can and the ground team can handle it. But if we have an opportunity where they say, look, we're interested in investing in equipment or hardware, this is the only other equipment that could think other than someone outright buying our office or a new
Hmm.
office. That's all I could think of it, and that does bring up another question. I hate to get derailed, and I'm going to try to be mindful of time, but I want to know how we travel more than 2 hours away from Tamale to the north. and do events. So I know we can put people on buses. I know the buses can go further than 2 hours, but I'm talking about
Yeah.
logistically without having a base further to the north where we or access to nurses further to the north. How do we move more than 2 hours away from Tamale? I guess that question is to Salam. Do we need another office? Do we need to rely on another community? Do we? How do we do that? Or Warihana? Yeah, anyone?
Yeah. I mean, before Salam comes in,
Yeah.
um, 2-3 hours is even a reasonable journey to still move from Tamale.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the communities that we would even reach for this set of Northern Health Shield event, some of them we have to even travel um about 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so with that, we just have to plan and leave very early because getting another office will just be extra expenditure and we may
Yeah.
not be able to manage it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Mm.
agree. And I'm trying not to get another office, but can we reach, I don't even know, can you drive to the Ghana to the northern Ghana border from Tamale in 3 hours? I don't know. I've never done it.
Yeah, is that Burkina you're referring to?
Yeah,
The Sankansi border.
yeah, to Burkina and yeah, the furthest, like the furthest north that we would go. Is that
Oh,
is that how far is that? Like that's got to be more than 3 hours.
yeah. It will be more than 3 hours.
Yeah, it will.
Mm-hmm.
So do we leave at that point? Do we leave from Nalerigu or somewhere else? Like how do we serve the upper northeastern corner of Ghana? Because that should be a part of our goal, right? Is to get up there because those people need help too.
Let's keep that. Let's keep thinking about that and see how we
Okay.
can move more people north and further north and stuff. And let's move on to Project Five update because I know we have a lot to talk about there. Is that okay?
That's fine with me. Yeah,
Okay.
unless yeah.
Unless anybody has
Salam was
something
Salam was
Warhana said,
unmiked.
yeah.
I just want to hear from him. 2 seconds. You got 2 minutes. Salam, how do we
Uh,
move to that corner?
okay, yeah. So I think that um, what we need to do when we are getting to those areas, for instance, going far to the Burkina borders, the Boku area, the Garu, Bunkpuru, and those areas, what most NGOs does is they do not set up completely new offices, but they set up what we call satellite offices. So, for instance, we can either rely on the Bolga Township Municipal Assembly
Mm-hmm.
and then write to them that we are coming to operate in your region, and this is our activities, and maybe a week out of every month we will need a space to mobilize and to deploy a team.
Mm-hmm.
Then we will do that around Pandai, which is the Oti area that also goes far north to the borders of Togo and
Mm-hmm.
Ghana. And
Mm-hmm.
truly, like you are saying, these are actually places where they really, really need help.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was um, I was privy to, because of my experience, I was privy to help consult for a World Bank project
Mm-hmm.
that is trying to make sure that they are able to create some positive economic impact in the northern sector because of how impoverished the northern regions are.
Mm-hmm.
And their focus is on districts that are closer to the borders because they feel like they are poor, and because they are poor and they are at the borders, they are more prone to being coerced or being deceived into taking decisions that will undermine even their own well-being.
Right.
So, so you have these terrorist groups who come in there and promise them water and say, "Oh, even your government cannot give you borehole. We are giving you borehole." So, and they will be able to use some of these things, some of this support to recruit them, to join them to undermine even the peace and stability of the areas,
Mm-hmm.
health and etc., just like we are doing. So I am glad that you have thought of areas like that. But the best way when we get there, will be to rely on satellite offices, and most of the NGOs who operate in those areas goes through the same models. They do not have to go in and set up offices, but they use the MMDCs, the municipal district assemblies.
Okay.
Yeah.
And last question, 2 seconds. We have to move the nurses and the medical professionals from Tamale, or we use them there?
Yeah, so if we are going far towards the Burkina borders, for instance, then we need to recruit volunteers from the Bolga areas.
Okay.
If we are going towards the Togo area, we need to recruit volunteers from the Yendi, Dambai areas, and Nanumba North areas, those areas.
Okay. So we won't be moving people that far. We pretty much, with our scope of work right now, is, as Warihana said, we just need to leave a little bit earlier. But everything, we can do everything right now within a 3-hour bus ride of Tamale. But if we want to go beyond that, we should go somewhere else and recruit medical professionals.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to keep in mind. Thank you for that, and I'll turn it back over to the president and apologize for my curiosity.
Thank you. Okay, project 5. You want to start, Salam, with an update there as far as the hardware, how sourcing the medical equipment, everything's going?
Yeah, so project 5, I think I'm done with the budgets. If you refresh, you have a complete budget now.
Okay.
Yeah, now there have been changes in quantities. I have adjusted everything to match for 1,000 beneficiaries, except for the condoms, the HIV test kits, and the HIV test kits. I have 800 because we are expecting that, and Warihana can confirm on this call that she'll be able to procure or secure the 200 every month for us. Then the albendazole, I have made it 50-50 for kids and adults. And then ivermectin is what I've also increased to 2,500 because we are now targeting 1,000 people. And since the doses is based on the weight of the individuals, we will need more than double the number. So I have 2,500 for that.
Salam, do you want me to share it? Okay, or
Sure.
no? Is that okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and share the budget really quick.
Okay.
And then we can just talk through it really quick so that we can all get on the same page. So we're looking at 36,000 US for this project, but it does include 10,000 in CapEx, and we're bumped up from 800 to 1,000. So here is the inventory we have. Here is the test kits that Warihana is going to procure. Are you able to procure those, Warihana?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and Salam mentioned that's every month.
Yes, every month.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Wonderful. Let's let Salam go over the budget there.
Okay, yeah, let's let Salam.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
all good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and you also see that the cost of logistics have added 1,000 Cedis to it because we are moving. We are going to move a lot of canopies. The canopies have increased to 18. Plastic chairs have.
I'm sorry. Could we just go from the top again, Salam? I apologize.
Okay. All right. So sanitary pads, the quantity for sanitary pads has remained the same, 600. Because we are targeting that we will distribute 600 sanitary pads to 600 women or ladies.
Uh-huh.
And the Hepatitis B, Hepatitis C test case is 1,000 because we do not have leftovers from the past event.
Right.
Then we have cost of HIV test case, which is 800. Like I said earlier, Warihana will be topping that up for 1,000.
Okay.
And then the dewormers, we have it 500 for kids, 500 for adults, and the ivermectin tablets I budgeted for
I'm
2,000
sorry, Salam, really quick. So you have 850 doses of the
of
Hep B. Is that correct?
Hep B vaccine. Yes, because we have 50. So
Ah,
in all, we'll
okay.
be taking 900 to the event.
Okay.
My thinking is that dealing with 1,000 people, we might have a lot of positives.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so 900 will keep us within a safe balance.
Okay. Yeah. So I think we've been running right around, and Ben can correct me if he remembers any numbers. I think we've been running about 3%. So
3%. Okay.
that would be about 30 cases of positive.
Okay.
But
So,
I don't know if this area is different or not, and I don't know if it's better to go short and not waste, or if it's better to go long and take it back to the office. How do you feel about that, Salam or
the
President?
issue is that the issue is that most of these areas they hardly test for these things because they are remote areas, and the hepatitis B test is actually an expensive test to run.
Hmm.
So, like you said, we are likely to record either more than 3% or on average 3%. But
Okay.
I'm also mindful of the fact that storing these vaccines is very delicate.
Hmm.
They have some readings on it that indicates their vitality. So, and depending on how you are able to run your fridge,
Hmm.
if the reading is not valid, then the vaccine just become waste. So I'm trying as much as possible to make sure we do not have a lot of it left from almost every event.
Right.
That's a great
Yeah,
idea.
and
So
I think it's better to go short, and just for future reference, that 90 obviously would be 10%.
yes.
So
So the
you're
idea is,
figuring on a 10% positivity rate, which is conservative as I think it should be.
Mhm.
yeah. So
Yeah,
that's it.
that's great, Salam. Good job on that.
If we have even some people who are not able to get a vaccine, we can, since we are doing this every month, we can tell them, oh, you can come next month to this community
Right.
to get
For
the
sure.
vaccine.
For sure. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yes. And
And
then I don't always know how to pronounce this. Something, the plaster for when they draw the blood, venipuncture plaster here. Those small, tiny plasters they put. So we have 1,000 of that.
Mhm.
Can you people hear me?
yeah, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to find that
Okay.
on the sheet. Can you see my screen okay?
But okay, I can see it now. I wasn't.
Okay. I
What's
said
off? No, it's not on your screen at this point. I don't know whether you have to scroll down. Um,
okay, so this is the viral shield impact. This is the wash sanitation, of which some of we've already done.
yeah,
And then this is the budgets for the safety blanket. These are the dewormers and the counts here. That all looks good. You did the 50-50 split. Now these are the sanitary pads, 600 and 600 condoms. Now we have the
yeah,
antibacterial soap,
yeah, 1,000 pieces.
which is 1,000 pieces. And then we have the 1cc syringes. Good. So you were able to use that item that I created. Excellent.
Yes.
And then the blood sample bottles, the cost of examination, we're going to go with 50 boxes to make sure we're safe. Uh, the stipend for the bus driver, the stipend, these are all the wages. Stipend for the driver. Uh, I see stipend for the bus driver twice. Is that a duplicate
Yeah,
line?
because yes, we are renting
Oh,
two
two buses.
buses.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. And then we have the 10 people for the scribe role, and they're getting
Yeah.
500 CD each. Then the medical consultant contractors, there's 2 of them for 500. 2 color line contractors at 500. The flow navigators, we're going to have 4 of for 500. The float team, we're going to have 5 of. The phone runners will have 2 at 500. The stipend for the registered nurse contractor lead, this is Elizabeth, that's 1,500. And then we have the 10 for vitals at 500, the lab draw 10 at 500, the lab read 10 at 500, the vaccine 10 at 500. Then we have the stipend for the video communications and IT support. That's for Simone. That's 1 at 1,500. And then finally, we have the stipend for the medical inventory management contractor. This is the new row 5 individuals. There's 10 of them at 500. Does that all sound good and look good to everyone? So basically that's 10% of our 10.3% of our total project is wages.
How does that look, Salam?
Yeah, so the next item is what I was looking for. The after the this one, the plasters.
Okay, the phlebotomy plasters.
Yeah.
And so here we have 1,000 of those.
Yes.
Logistical chairs. I'm sorry, cost of logistics to carry the chairs.
Chairs and then canopies. Because
so this is the movement of them.
Yes, from Gushegu. This the community in Bambuli will not get canopies to rent. And the last event we rented 10 canopies, and one motokin couldn't carry it. So we had we had 2 motokins to carry the chairs and 1 to carry the canopies. That was 3, and they couldn't. So this time around we want to get 4 in all. And when they take it, because of the distance from Gushegu to the event, when they bring the chairs and the canopies to the event center, what we usually do is they have to wait. Then when we close, they just pack up and then send it back.
Okay.
Yes. So I have budgeted 1,000 cedis for each, and that's why it is 4,000. Because
if you could,
Salam,
on this, if there are 4, if you could change, I don't know, do you think, President, or anyone else, do you think that the quantity should be 4 and it should be 1,000?
Okay, I think I agree with that.
Yeah, it will total the same, but I just think it will show better that it's 4 times the logistics of carrying the chairs, canopies, etc.
That's true. For me here.
Okay, great. So if you could change that when you get time, that's great. Then the examination tables were at 55.
Yeah, so initially we had 45, but because we are adding another row, I've just decided to add 10.
Right.
For the row 5, yes.
And Salam, did you see I'm sorry, did you see the flow table budget specs? Because it also shows 55. Are you?
Yes, I saw it.
Okay, good. So
I saw it this morning when I woke.
Okay, good. So you're also comparing your numbers to these numbers.
Yes, please.
Okay, great. Let me see that I can get back. Okay, keep going, Salam.
Okay, and then the public address system, still 1, the same amount we've been renting, 1,500. So they will find their way, get their own motoking and then a backup generator to the event and back. And then cost of food, breakfast, we intend to serve breakfast and lunch, and then water. For now, our total volunteers is 77. If we add myself, Ben, and Warihana, would make it 80. So that is it for 150.
Yeah.
And then the cotton rolls will remain 10. And then cost of sanitizers or alcohol. So because of the rules that we have, usually
I'm sorry.
event.
I'm sorry, Salam. Like just really quick, if I could. So when I'm looking at the specifications on the flow, I have 265 chairs.
265.
Yeah, and
Okay.
it breaks down such that it's 100 for the buffer zone, 20 for the draw, 20 for the results, 20 for the row 5 inventory, and
Yeah, I see that. I see
that
that.
might be there. I can share this tab, and then 30 for the patient scribe on the row 1, and the patient and the scribe, and then 40 for the cure zone. This is the wait area on row 2, and then 20 on row 3 and 15 on row 4 for the consult.
Yes, I see that. I think that was an oversight. So it's good that we are going through this.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, great. So sorry to stop you. And then we didn't have any information on the canopy. You were going to work with Elizabeth on that. Did you work with her at all to come up with the 18?
Yes, yes. I spoke
Okay.
with her and she said because usually we do it at the school parks and sometimes we will have the opportunity of using the classroom. We'll go with the 18 if there's a need that we use a classroom, but if
Oh,
there's no need. And then they lay out how she also explained it. I also agree that the 18 would work.
okay,
So
great.
we'll go with the 18. Yeah.
Great. So 18 there, and then the 265 on the chairs.
Yes, I just
That
corrected that.
okay, great. And then the breakfast. I think this did the logistics. Let me just check. I know that you did the math on the food as well, but I think it helped with that, I believe, at some point. Did the bus at the 22 and the 60 seater? I know we maybe haven't gotten there, but those all make sense to you now?
Yeah, so the bus, I tried to get a 60-seater bus, but I wasn't getting, what I got is a 54-seater. So I've decided to take the 54-seater and a 27-seater, the one we used during the April trip.
Okay. So you'll take
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Great. Do you
So, so
do you think that I don't think that I need to adjust this document that has the specifications to include any more. I think it has enough for us to then build experience after this first event, and we'll know how that worked. So I think it's
yes.
fine that this says 22, but you're actually taking the 27. And then
Yeah.
I don't think I need to update this. We'll just leave this if that's okay with you.
Yes, I think we should just leave it because
I don't want
that might even change. That might even change a day to the program because what happened with the vehicle rental is that if maybe we are supposed to move tomorrow and the vehicle develop a fault today, they will have to give us an alternative vehicle, and they
yes.
might have to even give us one that have more seats. So I think we can leave it and then use this event to steady.
Yeah,
The document is actually a very good guide.
good. Thank you. I worked hard at it, and I was hopeful that it would be just that, a guide, and
Yeah.
break down the numbers so that we can actually see what's what, and at least have a good starting point. So I'm glad that you found value in it.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I don't see any information on the food, but that all looks right to me. I think, is it just somebody do the math and double check for me because I'm not able to, but 77 is the total number. Is that correct? Oh, 80,
Yes.
I'm sorry. 77 on the bus, 5 on the truck, and then we have room for
Sorry,
the.
you're talking about the food?
I want to make sure that the number of people, I want to make sure that the people
So
getting on.
everyone is covered for food.
Yes, and I also want to make sure that the first bus has the advanced team on it, meaning everybody that's going to do the setup. And I know that bus got bigger. So those 22 people, the 10 scribes, the 10 row one contractors, and the 2 color callers absolutely have to be on the advanced bus. And I know there's room for them. So we can take more, but we want to at least make sure that advanced team is on the bus. And so between the number that are going and the number that we're seating, I want to just make sure that we have a total count of 80.
Yes. So I
Or
think what will happen is that the first vehicle, since we can take up to 27, can take 24 people.
mm-hmm.
So instead of 22, we'll just add 2 more people there so that the long bus can take the rest. Everybody will be seated comfortably.
Yeah,
And then since we would even go earlier, we would have used the pickup truck to be
right,
at the event even before all the buses arrive.
right. And that core team that's going to go in the truck will be yourself, Elizabeth, Ben, Warihana, and Simone.
Yes.
Okay, great. And so the total count is 80 that we need meals for, correct, President? Okay, great. So I'm going to switch back to here. Great work, Salam, putting this together. I mean, that was a guide, but it's a different story to put all the prices in and get it all in here. So, yeah, great work so far. So in its entirety for sure. So we're at the cotton. This is going to be 10 rolls. This I don't think is enough. Is it, Salam?
Yes, I think it will be enough. They are in rows, so we can just share them among the tables. Like everybody, they will just break what they will need.
Just
And
to keep in mind that every table needs to have it to wipe the phone at the very least.
okay,
And so, right,
I
because the
was
phone, that's part of the design, is that the phone gets wiped. And I don't know that I see it here. Unfortunately, I think the food and the cottons got removed. Oh, here's the sanitation kits are here at the bottom. So we need the 1,000 wristbands, and it came up with a bottle of spirits and bulk cotton rolls to execute clean hands. Device wipe down protocol requires all 55 tables.
then I will need to increase the cotton. I was thinking of making sure that we do not carry items back to the office, but we can
Yeah.
increase it, and then if we have leftover, we'll always need cotton. So maybe it might not feature in our next budget.
Yes.
And I wonder, you could always use like maybe a towel, and that's reusable. That way, that's not disposable. You're throwing away the cotton each time, but maybe a towel, you you know,
Well, I'm
dump.
sorry. What do you mean by a towel? Like a cotton towel?
Yeah, like a towel that you can wash or reuse or whatever. And so therefore, you take the towel and then dump the spirits or the alcohol on it, wipe down the phone, and then you're good. Versus taking a piece of cotton and throwing it away. I don't know if that's.
I don't know if that's sanitary, but if you say that it is, that's fine by me.
I would think so. What do you guys think on the ground there?
Okay, Warhana agrees. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, I think there's this we call it is it paper towel made of some cotton. We use it in our homes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
or what I
maybe
was
we
thinking,
can,
even like a towel, like a towel that you would dry off with, a towel. It's like a reusable towel that we have here.
Like we would call like a dish towel, like you do dishes with.
yeah. I know those towels. They are smaller, just like
Yeah.
hand
Maybe.
kerchiefs. Yeah.
Yeah, much smaller, like just that you would do dishes with. If you think that dumping the spirits on the towel and then wiping the phone is just fine, and keep reusing that instead of the cotton.
I know Warhana gave a thumbs up. Ben, do you have any input on that?
Yeah, I also agree with the towels because the cotton would result to a lot of waste also at the end
Mm-hmm.
because when we can't reuse that, we wipe and we drop it off. But since it's just the phones, we can have those towels that at the end we can wash them and reuse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's call this cost for cotton rolls part of what is going to be needed on, like, for example, the blood draw station, because they wouldn't obviously reuse anything.
Right.
So we still need cotton, but I don't know how many rolls for that that table two, I believe.
Yeah, so I think the table two is 10. So I think the 10, that was what I had in mind when I made the 10 rules of cotton.
Okay. Okay. And
Yes.
so
So that,
you're thinking that that number is right, and we probably need to put a budget line for reusable
the
towels
towel.
and increase
Yeah, and I
this
think
and
the
increase the.
towel,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I think the towel is also good. We can wash them after events, dry them, and use them subsequently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, but I want to make sure that we have enough. If we're going to use the reusable towels, I want to use the alcohol and sanitizer liberally. I don't want to be conservative with it. So I feel like that. I don't know if 50 isn't. We probably should put 55 was the number of tables that we have.
Yeah, we have 55 number of tables.
So then we need 55.
Sanitizers.
Yeah, 55 sanitizer bottles should be increased, and then please add a line for the towels.
The
So
towel.
yeah.
Okay. So maybe Warhana can help us with the cost of those towels.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
If then I'll just put it so that by the time we are done having this meeting, we have a complete budget. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
So I've
that's
just
what I'm.
changed the
Okay.
sanitizers figure to
And even if,
55.
if Warahana can find them less expensive in Accra, that's totally good too. I don't know how prices are. Sometimes that's how it is here. Certain cities or bigger cities have better prices sometimes. So that could
Yeah.
be a possibility. Okay.
I
Yeah.
reloaded.
So the
Now I just need to
sanitizers.
find it. Sorry.
Okay. And then the color paper bands.
Oh, sorry, my thing didn't reload, but it's okay. I'm okay. So we're at the
Yeah. So
sanitize. Yeah,
the
we're
color
at.
paper bands.
Hmm.
Yes. Warhana has been able to contact her um, where she buys her stuff,
Hmm.
and she said one will cost us 50 pesos.
Okay.
So I have kept that in the budget. So we are buying 5,000 pieces at a go since it will be shipped for 2,500 cedis. That's
Okay.
about how much. Let me see.
Yeah, and those unit prices look a lot better.
Yeah, yeah, far, far, far better.
Yeah, at 4 cents a piece, 4 US cents a piece. I think that's much better. And then those are all a variety of colors. I thought Simone
Yeah.
made a really good point, and I don't know that you have any control over it, but he said that sometimes uh, people think pink is red, and there's some color differences that the warm colors kind of get grouped together. I don't know if anybody else saw that comment.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
I
also
think
saw
so.
that, but I was telling him that if we're only looking at 3 or 4 colors, we could have contrasting colors, like totally different. But since we want to get 10 colors, I
Yeah.
think we will be running out of options.
Yeah,
So we
yeah,
might have
yeah.
to use.
Yeah,
Though it's a great point, especially here in the local setting.
Uh-huh.
We have just one name for some shade of colors. So
Uh-huh.
like red, a lot of colors in local language, they might just still call it like red in the local language. So that was the concern he was raising, which is
Yeah.
valid though. But when I was speaking with him, I told him that we are looking at 10 colors. So um, that might have to push us to get in so many
Yeah.
that might be similar. But one thing we can do is we will let the color callers always use one as an example. He can raise it and announce that all those wearing bands of this color I am holding, you can
Yeah.
move this way. I think that will help.
Yeah, and exact that's a good point. You know what I was thinking the same thing is to keep one for the color caller to show like this is the
Yeah.
color we're calling, but it unfortunately will mess up our lines, but I don't know how we can fix that because we do have 100 bands of each color. So then we will have 99. We'll always have one chair open.
Well, I mean, he can.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
what
No,
if
but
we just add one additional colors which we know will not be distributed, but will be used for the purpose of calling? So in that case, we have like 101
yeah.
for each color. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, and I think because we're buying 5,000 that will work.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's good. That's good. I just yeah, that's perfect. I think that that's good. And those are all grouped by 100 and are all different colors. Agree with regards to the 10?
Yes, so 100 each of the colors.
Great.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for that work, Warhana. That really made a difference in the price.
Yeah.
Great work on that. Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the fueling costs for travel for the concrete works.
Please say again.
I'm just said we're moving on to the fueling costs for the travel for the concrete work, the next item on the budget. You have two.
Two at 1,300.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't find it on your screen.
That's
Yeah,
That's
okay.
okay.
so that's for the concrete work and the installation of the hand pumps. Um, yeah, at Nangbamba, it's actually a community a bit distant from. So you need to get to Nabuli, the center where we're having the medical events, before you go to this community. What we did was that Nabuli is kind of like a center. They have a small market there, so neighboring communities gathers there most of the time. So we are looking at where will be very accessible for people to come for medical events, and then we look around there to see which community needs water the most. Because Nabuli town, for instance, I think 2 years ago we refurbished a borehole for them, which is still functioning.
Hmm.
We provided a complete hand pump.
Okay.
So that is why the fuel cost is 1,300 cedis for that. That's for a round trip.
Okay.
And I intend to travel there twice to have everything set up and handed over.
And just to be clear, that's all drilled already. The casing's in, it's capped. We just need to do the cement work and set the pump head.
Yes.
Great. Great. And do you expect that to be done at the time of the event or will that be before or after?
Yeah, so I think these projects, we are actually moving a little bit ahead of time than the Bambuli one. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, this one can be done at the time of the event, depending on the rains. Because when we do the concrete work, advisably we need it to dry for at least 2 to 3 weeks before we install,
Uh-huh.
depending on the rains. So
Right.
if it's well dried, we can do it then. But if it is not, we can do it after the program. So the
Yeah.
Bambuli one, for instance, I was discussing with Ben yesterday, about which day will be ideal for us to go and commission it, because the concrete work is done and we just need to install and commission it.
Great. Great. Yeah, I think we've talked about that before. It's better to wait for that cement to set up and
Yes.
not rush
So
it. So,
yeah, so because we are an NGO and we're actually buying an NGO graded AfriDef hand pumps, the advice I had from the company we buy from, because they are into these water resources, was that ideally he quoted some regulation that when we do the concrete, ideally it's supposed to dry for 21 days before you actually install the pump.
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, well, yeah, that's perfect. So that I think that makes sense, and if that's a recommendation, I think we should do it so that we don't have to go back and make repairs if need be.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So then the allowance for the truck, you have there
And
the.
then the next thing is, yeah,
Go ahead.
the allowance is also there. And then the bus rental for the 27-seater, the same rental cost as we rented during April, 4,500.
Hmm.
And fueling is I've budgeted for 2,000 cedis. So that vehicle actually consumes a lot.
Hmm.
And the next item is the fuel for the event. So you see that the fuel for event is 1,600, 300 Ghana cedis more than for the concrete installation. Because just like Ben said earlier, sometimes we even travel more than twice or thrice before we have the event actually
Hmm.
executed. And not necessarily just traveling from Tamale to Nabuli, but communities around Nabuli too. You need to visit some of the opinion leaders and the chiefs to inform them that you have this event coming up so they can get the gong beaters within their communities to announce.
Yeah.
So that is why I have the fuel cost there a little bit higher than for the concrete work, though it's still at the same location. But that one will require a lot more of travel.
Uh-huh. That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. And then the 54-seater bus.
Yes, it's yeah. So in fact, they said 10,000 including fuel, 10,000 cities including fuel, and I really I was pushing for 8,000, and they said no, they wouldn't go because even the road network is not too good for their type of vehicles.
I see.
Yeah, but we negotiated to 9,500, so 7,000 for the rent and 2,500 for their fuel.
Great.
Um, yeah, that is it. So I was trying. I before this I asked Ben whether, because yesterday you mentioned that you wanted to understand how much it costs for one person to go to Nabule and come back, like as if you
Hmm.
were to pay for transport.
Yeah.
But when I did the computation, it's like roughly it will cost a volunteer on the bus 200 cities in and out, which I think is actually very good
Hmm.
because
Yes.
traveling from Tamale to Gushegu is almost 100 cities, 95 cities. So if we are going beyond to Nabuli and it's still at 100, I think renting actually saves us than
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
going
For
for
sure.
those conventional vehicles.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I think that that's great work on pushing them for a discount, and that I think that that's great. You know, when they say no, that that you're getting close.
Yeah,
Great, great, great work on that. Great work on that. And then finally, the last one here are the phones. We're
the
counting
phones.
105 now. Phones at
Yes.
103.50
Yeah,
US.
it's at actually 100 and 150. So these particular phones, when I contacted them, they said retail was 1,005. And then I asked Ben, he uses A5. I asked him how much he bought his, and he said 1,003. So I called them back and said, "Oh, if A5 is 1,300, then why are you selling A6 to me at 1,500?" And so A6 is better, blah blah. And I said, "No, reduce for me because I wanted to really get the retail price, then I can shoot for a wholesale."
Yeah, yeah.
And then they told me that okay, the best they can do for me at retail is 1,350. So I said, okay.
Hmm.
Um, how about me buying for wholesale because I actually want bulk, and yeah, we push to 1,150. So I think that actually saves us even more than 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. Great work on that, and getting those procured. Wow, that's a lot of phones.
Yeah, a lot of work for Ben and Simon.
Yeah. That means I have to build 105 email accounts and
Emails.
share everything up as well on the back end. So a lot of work for Ben, a lot of work for Simone, a lot of work for everybody.
For Kevin. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. That's great. And then just to show here, this was the initial initial donation for the well work of 11,700 US. And then these are the actuals on the purchase invoices. And essentially now uh, we're looking at a remaining amount needed is 24 I'm sorry, 275,000 Ghana CD, which is a bit over budget, but it is more people, and we know that when we do more people, we save money. So I don't know that we'll be able to do 1,000 or be able to continue to do one a month. I'm working hard. Everyone's working hard trying to get discounts and push forward. So we will continue as long as we can.
Yeah, no, that's great. Great work.
Great work. And I don't see anywhere on here anything that concerns me regarding the budget. Although I know you had some adjustments to make, I will refresh this on my own terms, but I know that you're making those.
I did have a couple questions.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
So I believe from Project 4, we had some leftover volunteer stipend. Is that correct? We didn't use all of the volunteers weren't able to show up. Is that correct, Salam?
I didn't get the question right.
I think from Project 4, we had some volunteers that
Okay.
didn't show up, so we had a little extra stipend money, and I think that rolled over to this, or we need
We
to
need
make
to
a
roll
note.
it over. Yeah.
We needed to make a note for compliance, and then yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. About 8 of them. So
Okay.
yeah, we have that money to roll over. I don't know.
Let's
How we keep that.
Salam, let's leave the stipend there as it is,
Okay.
and then reduce by that amount. So how much do we need to reduce by, Salam, based on the stipends that are carrying over?
We will need to reduce 2,400 Cedis.
Okay. And so
That was a lower stipend, correct? Project 4?
honestly, I don't remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lower stipend. That was like almost 300 Cedis. 295. And now we are doing 500. So
Yeah, but I don't want to adjust the stipends because the stipend shows the labor effort. And so is what I want to do is I want to take the carryover stipend from Project 4 and
a lower amount is what I'm saying.
yeah, all I know is it 2,400 CD total?
yes. And Warihana just texted that the towel will cost 20 Cedis per one. So if we know how many we can buy, is it possible if we could use that money to buy that?
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you had said.
Warihana just messaged him the price of the towel.
Oh, the towels. Yeah.
So then he's wondering if we can use the leftover stipend money from last month to purchase the towel.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but
so
how
that we
much?
don't have to.
But so, how much will we have? How much will the towels be?
She said 20 Cedis per towel, and I don't. If we are buying 50, I don't know how. So we have to buy a towel for each row.
A towel for each table.
Each table, yes.
Each table will have the sanitizers. That's 55.
So 55 is 1,100 Cedis. We will still have a balance of 1,300 Cedis from the money left.
Right, and I would say that these towels, we should probably round up to 60, which will give us 1,200 CD credit.
Yeah. 1,200 Cedis. Yeah.
So I don't. It's hard because I don't want to adjust something that we're going to carry forward and then be short on. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to say, oh, we'll put that towards the chairs and reduce the number of chairs, because then when we do the next event, we'll be short chairs. So
Okay, so
putting the
we just buy maybe 120 towels and we can keep some? I don't know.
yeah, okay, let's do that.
Yeah, because they may get lost or they may get ripped or maybe they cannot be cleaned or something may happen to them.
Yeah.
So if you buy 120 towels, that'll be even.
Yes.
So you should put on here 120 towels at $0 and just make a note that it was used for the stipend.
Okay.
And then we'll know that we bought them. Everyone will know we bought them. The auditors will be happy, and we'll just say in the description, carry forward from 04 stipends.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, really quick, Salama, I just did an update. Are you updating this as we go or no?
Yes, I'm updating it as we go.
Okay. Oh, but you haven't hit save, maybe.
Yes, I haven't.
Oh, okay, because I keep refreshing it, thinking that the chair count is going to go up, and it's not changing.
Okay.
Okay, good,
Great
good.
budget. Great
good.
budget. Good work on that.
Yeah, excellent budget. Excellent keeping track of everything.
We look forward to the updates. With the phone salon, do you have an idea when we will get them? When they will arrive?
Yes, so I have saved. You can refresh and you can get it. Yes,
Oh, okay, it's no problem.
as soon as the payment is made, I can procure them. I think the phones will need a lot of work. So if the budget is good and from the CTO's magic, we can get approved as soon as possible. We
Yeah,
procure them. Yeah.
yeah. I have to see how much money we have. I don't even know. in the Gemini account.
Right, right. Okay, looking back at the agenda, so the medical equipment, and we made room for the pediatric blood pressure cuffs and the Energizer.
Good point. I don't see the
Batteries.
pediatric cuffs on there.
Salam, can you give us an update for the children cuffs, the pediatric blood pressure cuffs?
Yes. So I was wondering, I will just add it to this event because I've asked for the cuffs and Califas have them.
Okay.
Said one is 170 cedis. So we are buying just 10.
Correct.
And the reason I didn't add is I wanted to find out whether I would just add it to as a medical event expenditure
Yeah.
and package medical event expenditure.
Yeah, it'll show up just like the scales did, Salam, or the pulse ox emitters.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm just adding it now.
Okay, great. And that would be 10 of those. Good catch on that. What else do we have?
And the batteries.
Oh, the batteries. Shit. Let's put some. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's reduce the towels. Let's reduce the towels down to 60 and spend the rest on batteries.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. So the batteries, Ben was supposed to, so I think it's fine. So we'll reduce it down, and then when he finds the rechargeable ones and tell us the cost, we'll just use the other balance to buy them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
And so, sorry, Salam, those batteries as well will go under the medical event as expenses, just like the blood pressure cuffs
Okay.
because they're needed to run the event. Without them, we can't run the event.
Okay.
Awesome. Do you want to go over the shield or the flow that you had saved or sent
Yeah,
in
I'd like
Discord?
to. Yeah,
Okay.
but because I plan on building it out today.
Okay. Yeah, let's go over that since it has to do with Project 5
Yeah,
and the
it
flow and
definitely.
everything.
Yeah, let me.
'Cause we may find different things for the budget or something.
Right. I'm sorry, I have to find it.
No worries. No worries.
Oh. So I think once you get the batteries entered, Ben, do you have a status on the batteries?
Yes. So I found some, which I was trying to see if we could get some elsewhere a bit cheaper. I found some on Jumia. Where I bought mine, they only have the AA batteries.
Mm,
That is the bigger type, not the smaller one. And we are looking
yeah,
at AAA, the triple A.
yeah.
So I found some on Jumia. They had 4 pieces of rechargeable battery for 250 cedis.
Okay.
Yes, I don't know. But we
And,
agreed that we will not entirely buy all as rechargeable batteries. We would
right.
have just the normal ones. So we have these rechargeable batteries as backup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So we would
so
have to consider how many in all our I'll calculate how many batteries in all the devices would need, like in terms of pieces.
uh-huh.
So we know how many energizer batteries, because I think Elizabeth had she had also reached out to me after she discussed with Presdo that energizer batteries will work best. So we'll get the energizer batteries and also get these rechargeable batteries as well.
Yeah. So Ben, if you could just do a real quick cost analysis on those, because the lithium, because those other ones are lithium, right?
Yes, this one, these rechargeable batteries I'm talking of, they are lithium
Yeah,
rechargeable
so
batteries.
because those should last even longer than the other batteries. But I know we were going to start out slow, but if you could just do a quick cost analysis to see what the price difference is, if it makes
Okay.
more sense to buy the lithiums than it does the Energizer, let's go with the all the lithium because we can recharge those at the stations too. We just buy more of them.
Okay, okay.
And then also keep in mind that those need, I don't know if they come with a charger.
No, they don't. So I saw a separate charger somewhere.
Okay.
Yes, so would have to buy a separate charger
Yeah.
than these ones. Yes. So the
Okay.
Energizer battery, I actually saw some now for 6 pieces, which cost 140 cedis. And these rechargeable batteries, we have 4 pieces costing 250 cedis.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So about a dollar and a half more, maybe a dollar US more, dollar 50 more.
Yeah. Of that.
Okay.
So just that the store I'm looking at, they only have 5 pieces, 5 units left. But
Yeah.
I'll check other places. They currently
Yeah.
have 5 units of the 4 pieces left. So in
Okay.
all, that'll be 20 pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other
Yeah.
thing too is it's not only a dollar 50 because it's two batteries short. So it's more like two
Mm,
dollars more.
yeah. 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 And this we get to recharge
Yeah.
and use it multiple times. So.
Yeah. And have you used that brand of lithium rechargeable batteries like in your camera or anything?
No, the brand I use in my camera is different, but they actually do last. Think the last time I charged, I actually used it on the speed light itself, the
Uh-huh.
flashlight.
Yeah.
Yes, I used to consume a lot of money on Energizer batteries until I bought this, and it has saved me a lot of
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
what and they last longer, right?
yeah, they last longer. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I would expect as well. So I guess just just message me in Discord for the amount of difference if we go all lithium rechargeable. I don't know, like I said, how many we need, and then maybe a pack in case we run out or something. Just let me know the difference of how much it is. Preferably, we want to go with all lithium to reduce waste.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So I'll do that analysis. Look, considering the devices we use and the number of batteries needed, and I'll send that to you on Discord.
Okay, great. And then remember that we're not going to buy the one blood pressure machine, that we're only buying AAAs, correct?
Yes, all triple A's.
Yeah, and then that one unit we'll just buy regular energizers for, so that we don't
Yeah.
waste our money until we can replace the machine or add another machine, so that all of our batteries are consistent. The recharge works really well. We don't have to scramble around looking for different size batteries, etc.
All right, sure.
Great.
Yeah,
Thank
I'll
you
do
for that.
that.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Okay.
Okay, great. So, if everybody can see my screen, I'll go through this really quick. This is the what we're looking at is the system design and application specifications document for the new Shield app and event contractor ecosystem, as it's called now. And so this is where we expand essentially the Shield app to include some more things that we need to actually run the workflow in a logical way on the ground, and how we hire essentially 90 people into a PRN group and manage all of their credentials, as well as their statuses, usernames, passwords, etc. And so, just going through, essentially, there are four components of the ecosystem. The first is the event contractor application. This is the onboarding pipeline for the interface for contractors to join. Is what will happen is when they fill out the application, uh, there'll be the required information for us to build a employee of contractor type in Smiley with an actual contract based on checkboxes that they choose. And so I can show that really quick. Um, if you can see this, this is what it'll essentially look like. This is the application and contract. They'll put their information in, things like their mobile money number so they could take payment. They'll have their Ghana ID card, which will act as their password. Their Discord user ID, there'll be a blank for that there, which is optional initially, but we'll eventually put it in. Any professional license number for medical reasons, etc., will go there. Then they'll have the ability to choose which of these they are willing to volunteer for, and these will all show up initially. So this is them submitting the application and what they're willing to do. So each of these has a description, a job description. So if they want to know what a vitals person does, this will explain it to them. When they check the box for any of these to be, for example, a vitals person or a non-medical scribe, this is the contract below here. It's a standard template contract that will insert their job descriptions into the scope of services section. So you can see row 1 is here, the scribe is here now. If they add phone ads, etc. So we're basically dynamically, they're telling us what they want to do in this application. And then at the bottom here, they acknowledge that this includes all the boilerplate stuff about a code of conduct, termination, etc. This is an actual contract. You can see this one is still set up for 300 CD, but it will be changed to 500 in the newer version, etc. They'll actually check this bottom box that says that they acknowledge the contract agreement, and then they'll submit it. Upon submission, this will become an employee record in Smiley as well as an actual contract. At that point, there will be a one-on-one interview set up between Elizabeth, the Presidio, or Warihana or Ben. I don't know who's going to do these. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just the tech guy. So somebody's going to do 90 interviews and make sure that these individuals are qualified for what they checked. So if, for example, you're no longer you're not qualified to do vitals, even though you think you can, that's going to come out in the interview, and this section will be removed. The contract will be submitted and signed in Smiley, which will then update these roles for the individual. At that point, they will then be allowed to do certain things within the app. So that's how we onboard 90 PRN individuals. We're no longer pushing uh, the individuals into the individual roles into Discord. We're only managing things within Smiley, because that's where things like their activity status is, as well as their their role association and the contract. The contract will only be for a year, and then it will expire. These individuals will then have to be reevaluated and put back into the pool after a year, because we don't want to expand this indefinitely, just so that we make sure credentials haven't changed, or that whatever that might be. So we're just doing a annual rolling contract. So before I move on, does that make sense? Does that make sense to everyone as far as how individuals will be procured into the PRN pool? I'm sorry, if you could, yeah. So Salam gave a thumbs up. That makes sense. Ben, you're good, and Warihana, you understand as well. Warihana, I didn't see a response. Are you all good? I just want to check.
Yes, I'm good.
Okay, great. So then I will flip back to this document that states uh, the additional pieces of the ecosystem. So that's all of the event contractor application. The event registration is where uh, the one-on-one. I'm sorry, the event registration is a component that Ben and I designed yesterday, where individuals will go to the Shield app, log in with their when they submit the event contractor application, they'll be given their ID, and their ID will be the Smiley employee ID, and that will be considered their contractor ID. They'll use their contractor ID. Once they've been activated and the contract's been signed, they'll use their contractor ID, which is generated in Smiley, as well as their Ghana card ID as their key or their password. Those two components will allow them to then log into the Smiley app. And once they're logged in, they'll be able to do event registration, patient records recording, as well as the outreach analytics and live dashboard viewing. So they will log in with to register for upcoming events, and I'll explain that in a minute. That's another component within the Shield app. The patient records is what we see, what we already currently call the Shield app, which is all of the medical records recording that will be used at the time of the event. And then the outreach analytics and live dashboards is essentially the reporting mechanisms. So I'm also expanding the patient identification capabilities so that we can include the NHIS card integration. That will be that essentially they'll be able to put that number in, but the Ghana ID card from the patient is still the most desirable, because it'll allow them access to their patient records beyond just our event or our events. So then Within the interface, as I said, there'll be the index page, the splash screen. This is where all of the integration of those 4 components take place. They'll use their contractor ID and their Ghana ID for logging in. Now we'll know exactly who they are, if they're active in the system, and if they have what they've been qualified to do. All of that based on the contract, and the activity status on the employee record will allow them to log in. If for some reason their login can easily be disabled by changing their employee status from active to inactive. Now they cannot log in to any of the Shield components. We'll have the post login where they have their points displayed. So this is a concept that Ben and I decided to do to try to gamify and encourage participation within our PRN contractor pool. And this is an idea where we essentially give each individual 10,000 points that we keep track of. And then based on their participation, for example, in different activities, the number of events they do, for example, their time under contract, all of these things, or if an admin like Ben or Simone or the Presidio or someone wants to go in, Salam, go in and adjust their points, that will the points that they're given will allow them to register for events sooner rather than later, and you'll see that in a minute. So there's this concept of points will be displayed. The contract expiration date will show, so they know if they need to renew. When it's less than 30 days, it'll be clickable so that they can know how to renew their contract, and then they'll go back through the one-on-one for internal staff to renew that contract. The other button is the event registration, the patient outreach, and the outreach analytics. Please stop me if something doesn't make sense or you don't understand. The authentication model totally changed. We're no longer referring to anyone as an RN, only contractors. This is what their contractor ID will look like. This is the ID that we all have as well within Smiley, and then their Ghana card will allow them to log in. So again, they have to be active. Once they're active, and their Ghana ID card is validated against their contractor ID, they'll be allowed in. The gamification, as we're calling it, the tiered registration system. So this is the contractor will be given a baseline of 10 points. It'll be displayed as thousands. We'll use some randomization, SALT, as it's called, to distribute 0.1 to 0.5 across all of those who have been registered, so that they don't all have the exact same initially. And then that'll prevent system rushes, etc. The values are stored in their employee record in Smiley. So anyone who can change that employee record can, if someone is doing, like, for example, we're trying to solve the problem of, and again, Ben laughs at me, everyone laughs at me, but I'm going to continue to use this name because it's the name that I know. But let's just take Moses, who, if he's a great person and he's doing great work for the organization, we may want to give him additional points so that he can pre-register for events in front of others. That helps ensure that he's a participant in the event. So you'll see what it means, how the point system maps to early registration for upcoming events. So it'll be stored on the employee record, and it'll be displayed in thousands just because people like a lot of points, whatever. And admins will be able to, again, manually set this forward, so we'll be able to give preference. Ben said that he had individuals that he wanted to make sure got precedence when it came to registration, as he really values their input. The background job that will run nightly or maybe hourly will check for contract expirations. So when a contract expires, it will automatically set them to inactive. It will also update their roles based on the contract, making sure that they can't do something that someone in the organization didn't agree on and is assigned to. The longevity rewards, these are daily points that will be added. We'll essentially give 20 points for every day that they are under contract. So this encourages them to stay under contract. So if we have someone that's been under contract for us for 2 years, they'll obviously have more points than someone who's only been under contract 1 year. Meaning that when it comes time to register, they'll be given some precedence. Whether they choose to enroll in that event or not is still up to them. They'll just have the option to register sooner than others. Then there's the event completion rewards. We'll give a straight 300 points if they completed the event, meaning the project is closed. Once the project is closed, this job will go through see who participated essentially based on the list, the roster. The project got closed, they will be given 300 points. So the more projects you do, the more points you get. This also builds longevity and means that these individuals will float to the top when it comes to registration. That doesn't mean, for example, that if Ben saw Moses, let's take again, at the event who he asked 3 times to do a task, he didn't do it, and Ben ended up having to do it, or Warihana ended up doing it, or Salam did it, or Simone, then they could go in and reduce his total by 800 points, meaning he's less likely to register for the next event, and other people will float up ahead of him. So this is a way to reward good behavior as well as like longevity, but also to dock people for individuals who are not doing what they're supposed to at the events. This is the case where I told Ben that if someone does a no show, a no call, what I refer to as a no call no show. So they said they're supposed to be on the bus. They never called to say they got a flat tire on their bus and they won't be able to make it, or grandma got sick, or whatever the case is. They just do a no-show completely with no call. Then the administrator, like Ben, could go in after seeing the clipboard of who was assigned on the bus. If Elizabeth said these people did a no-show, no call, he could take a picture of that. Then when he gets back to to the office, he could essentially zero those people's points out. Meaning that they're going to go back to the bottom of the line, because that's not acceptable. If you say you're going to do something and you don't have a valid reason, you shouldn't get to register before anyone else. You should be at the bottom of the line. So this allows the administrator to have ultimate control, but we do have these automatic ways for people to gain points through longevity and completing events. Then we have this is again if the contractor translation into roles. So if someone pulls out of the contract before it's signed the ability to do vaccines, then that person obviously can't do vaccinations. These are the tiered access. Is what I'm going to do is I'm just basing it on percentages, because that way the code doesn't need to have any other logic and can execute autonomously. So what we're saying is, and these can change. I'm looking for feedback from Salam, Ben, and Warihana on these. These are arbitrary things that I created, but you would be better served to have input on. The trigger is once the budget is approved. So let's say that the budget approved for 05 gets approved today. It would be 5 additional days from today that the first Discord notification would go out for the top 10% of people who have points in the points pool. So that's when registration could start for these applicants. This is assuming that they're already been approved with the one-on-one, etc. So because that hasn't been done yet, that's why I'm pushing to get the applicants vetted and on board. But essentially 5 days after the budget is approved, we would start allowing individuals to request their activity in the upcoming event. And then at 30%, after two days, T plus 2, so 7 days after, we reference in Discord that if you're in the top 30%, and again, they can check this on their app by just logging into the Shield app, if they're in that top 30%, they can register for the upcoming events. Then 50, 80%, and then finally 5, T plus 8, it's open to everyone. So I don't know if this T plus, if this 5 days after the budget approval works. I think these are arbitrary and work, but I don't know if this start date should be the moment the budget's approved, we start accepting people, or you want this to be longer out, or how to do that. I'm open to feedback from Salam, Warihana, and Ben. Let's start with Salam on that. What are your thoughts up until this point on the app in general and this tiered notification process?
Thank you so much for the wonderful work you've done. I think
Thank you.
up to this point, the app has addressed all the concerns I was having.
Great.
Because I was thinking that um, given how we are moving and now onboarding all volunteers as contractors, there must be a way to measure seriousness and commitment from every contractor. You have provided that by the rating, and is superb. Also, the budget, the dates to trigger the onboarding. I think the 5 days plus is good. It gives us some room to communicate after the budget has been approved, and
Right.
also provide some room for us to procure and set up the phones as we said.
Right.
So yeah, up until this point, I think it's a wonderful job. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the compliment, and I really think that it addresses a lot of the concerns that Ben had. He and I worked really hard on the design yesterday after you dropped, so after you left Salam, to flush this out and tried to address all of the concerns that were there. For how do we show precedence and preference for registration of future events, because we ultimately want the best contractors on the ground at the end of the day. I mean, we don't want the B team, we want the A team, because that's what's going to make it the smoothest and easiest for everyone. So that's great. Warhana, do you have any feedback really quick on the point system, or how things will lay out and we'll be able to address preference, etc.?
Yeah, I also like the point system a lot because we have, let's say, for every event, we are making use of 67, but then in our pool, we have 90. It would come to a time where it becomes sort of competitive. Someone will want to always be going, some may not get the opportunity. But then if you get to participate based on your performance so far, I think it's a very fair way to engage people. So yeah,
Okay,
that's
great.
really great, and everything is great so far.
Okay, great, thanks. And Ben, just really quick, did I capture what it was we designed in this document?
Yes, you captured everything quite well,
Great.
especially the part that we don't have to manually manage the rules on Discord. We
Right.
have everything happening on Smiley, and also the point system or the grade system will actually bring the best out. Everyone will want to put out his best to make sure that they secure a spot on the next event. So everything is good. Yeah.
Great. And I think that, as we talked about the ability for them to earn points is unlimited. Some of the things that Ben and I talked about were, if we had a situation where individuals post a social media post, or Ben sees that, for example, someone is sharing our social media posts on Facebook regularly, and is doing that on a regular basis, regularly, then he can go in and just arbitrarily give 20 points to someone, if he sees that, or if Simone has seen that. we can set him up with a login where he can give points. I mean, it's just a way for us to encourage good behavior, just to say that. And so whether that's with social media or not, I think that I really like the point system, and I think that they will like it as everyone pointed out as well, is that they'll be recognized for their work. And Elena, we were talking with this Elena yesterday, and the president, I think, said this will even be a way to highlight individual contractors that are in the top 10%, for example. We could highlight them in a blog post or in a social media post. And I know that that really tends to go far with our contractors, that recognition publicly. And so this is maybe even a more important means of compensation than the compensation itself. And so the recognition, everyone likes to be recognized for their hard work. So with this point system, we could recognize those who are in the top 10%, for example, or or however. Okay, great. So then I'll continue to move on here. The back end architecture, these are the modifications that are needed, etc. This is how the roles will be associated. This was the modification. So Salam, this is why I needed to build out all of the items that I did for your budget and break them all out of the one group of 65, is because I needed to know for a given event how many vital contractors we needed, because this is directly pulled and builds essentially the the number of slots that are needed for the project. So when you say on the budget 10 vitals, this portion of the system knows exactly how many slots need to be filled before it says this event is full. We don't need anyone else doing vitals. So hopefully that's clear as well, that we're directly tying this registration process to the budget. So the approved budget, and that's why I triggered the registration after the budget approval, is because at that point we'll know exactly how many vaccination contractors we need, exactly how many medical consultants we need, phone runners, etc. So it's all based on the budget, and that's where that information is stored. Ben, that was a new design feature that I put in after we had talked. So hopefully you're in agreement on that, and that makes sense to you as well. Great. Great. Thank you for that, Salam. I appreciate that. And Ben. Okay, continuing to move on. This is something that I want to stop everyone on, because I did this arbitrarily just based on my knowledge. But so when the individual sees the event in which they're about to register for, they will see they'll only see openings that they're qualified for. So if they're qualified to be a float team member and that position is open, it will show there. They'll be able to check the box or check all and then submit for those roles that are open. And we did this for a couple of reasons. One, this prevents the user from having to keep submitting and trying to find one that's open. They're just selecting all that they're willing to do. Maybe not that they're all qualified to do, because on this given event they might not want to do vaccines, so they don't check that box, or maybe they are willing. So, but it allows the user to submit all they're willing to do, and then we take the responsibility for essentially filling the spots that are open in the event. And so this is the role fill priority order, as it's referred to, and this means we can fill the hard spots first. So like everyone wants to do vitals, if they chose float and there's a float opening, they're going to get float. And so this is the order of precedence that I thought was the most difficult to fill, were the float contractors, then the vaccine, then the lab draws, then the lab read, then the consult, then the scribe, then the vitals, then the inventory manager individual, This doesn't need this. Oh, this wrapped. And then the flow navigator, then the line contractor, the color line contractor, then the phone runner. So if at this point, Salam, I'd like you to I'm going to ask each of you because you've been on the ground. Would you say, once you get into the middle, like the scribe, it kind of all washes out, right? Then those are relatively easy to fill, I think. But these are probably the most difficult, I thought, to fill. And so I want to hear from you, Salam, if these should be in a different order in positions that are filled. The reason I chose float first is because a float needs to be willing to do vaccines, draws, reads, consult, essentially vitals, everything. And so, Salam, can you comment on what your thoughts are on this order of filling the positions so that we make sure we fill the hardest positions first? And first of all, I
Yes.
want to before you go, Salam, I want to make it clear. So the user will be logged in. They'll see only the positions that they're qualified for and the ones that have openings. They'll select the ones they're willing to do for the event. They'll submit that, and this is where we're going to find their position. We're going to go through this list in order, and the first one that has a vacancy, they're going to be signed up for, and that'll show on their screen. So if there's a vacancy in vaccines, that's the first one. That's the one they'll get because float is full. Hopefully that's clear.
Okay, so if I was to do the arrangement, I'll bring the app scribe first.
Ah, okay. No, it's fine.
because of
I don't know. I don't know. Okay.
okay, so I would have brought that first because of how critical that is.
Okay.
Uh, Everything we would do will be accounted for based on the app scribes, because everything we would do would be accounted for through the Shield app.
Yeah.
And I'll bring the vitals contractor second
Fido second.
because
Okay.
yes, because
Okay.
their job is also really very difficult.
Mhm.
And yeah, they are going to be dealing with a number of things at a go. Then yeah, the float team contractors, because like you said, they should be able to do literally anything, so they can even assist the vitals and all of that. So I'll bring that second.
Okay.
Then I'll bring the sorry, I'm having difficulty seeing. Okay, I have to brighten
It's
my screen.
it's okay.
Yes, then I'll bring, so I've brought the float team. Yes, I'll bring the lab draw. Yeah. Then
Okay.
I'm not seeing the testing contractor. They might
Here's
testing.
the lab read is the one that reads.
Yeah.
Who are you
Okay.
looking
Yeah.
for?
So I'll bring that. I'll bring that next.
Okay.
Then the vaccine, the consultant,
Okay.
and then the vaccine and the inventory will come last for me.
Okay. And then the flow navigator, the line, and the phone runner, those are all relative because essentially anybody can do those.
Yes.
Okay, great. So I mean the point is we don't want to take our best nurse and fill her in a phone runner position. That's the
I
point in
agree.
this list. We want to take our best nurse and put her in the hardest position. So, okay, this is Salam's list. So let's just go through. Warihana, how should I change this based on your preferences? We're just going to keep changing it, and then finally at the end we're going to all agree or disagree.
You might be muted, Warhana.
Yeah, hello. Press go.
Yes.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, my network went off a bit. I couldn't hear for.
No problem.
No worries. We're just asking your feedback for
On
the
the
roles here.
on the list so that we fill the hardest ones first.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like you said, we don't want our best nurse running phones, taking
Right.
phones around. That's something that I can do, but I can't be
Yeah,
a nurse. I can't draw blood.
right.
Yeah. So
So
yeah,
so
that's
how
a
do you
good plan.
how do you feel about this list that Salam put together? So the app scribe first because they have to be trained and proficient
Okay.
in finding people. Then he said the vitals contractor, the float team. I don't know if you could see my screen or not.
Yes, I can see.
Oh, okay. So are there any that you would move up or down based on this list that you think that you really want to get filled with our A team? Because remember, the A team are the people who are going to register first. They're going to be in the
Okay.
top 10%.
Yeah. I feel like vitals can be done by a lot of people.
Yeah, I agree.
So maybe we can move that down.
Okay, where do you want to put it? You want to put it under the inventory management or do you want to put it below the vaccine or somewhere else?
Yeah, below the vaccines.
Okay, so maybe like this.
Yeah.
And then what else are you
Then
thinking?
lab draw can go below. Um. Okay, it's okay. It's okay where it is.
Okay, because I
Med
guess the
consult.
thing for you, Warahana, to bring to this too is that when you were on the ground, I know you had problems because everyone wanted to do vitals.
Mhm.
And so this was designed to help you get relieve that problem. So there'll be not
Yeah.
everyone piling up at vitals. And so my question to you is that which table were they not wanting to go to? Because that's where we need our A team. You know what I
Um.
mean? Were they not wanting to go to vaccines or were they not wanting to go to blood draw or where were they not wanting to go if they were all wanting to do vitals?
I guess not all of them could draw blood.
Hmm.
Yeah. And
So
then
so that was
the
one that we
vaccines, I think. Yeah. The vaccines, I think it takes a particular, like, a specially trained person.
uh-huh. And so you want to move
Yeah.
that one up under the draw or
Yeah.
before the draw or after the draw?
Before the draw.
Okay.
The float team, uh, that's what again? What do they do again?
Yeah, so they're essentially the person that helps break the bottlenecks in the clinical unit. So if one of the clinical units, let's say line 3, has a problem
Okay.
where vaccines are backing up, then they would go there and
Okay.
give vaccines. Or if they're having
Okay.
problems, that's why they need to be able to do all of them. The vaccine, the
Yeah.
draw, the read, the consult, they need to relieve people of lunch breaks or anxious moments
Mhm.
or give people breaks when they need them for mental health, etc. So they really need to be able to do everything. That's why I thought it was the hardest position.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And then maybe we can put consults below draw.
Okay.
Mhm. Or even above below vaccines.
Below vaccines. Yeah, it's a very
Mhm.
difficult job.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many people are willing to do it. That's really what we're trying to get at is that when you're on the ground, if no one wants to go to that station, we need to have it high here again. So if somebody who can do that, we want to make sure we
Hmm.
try to fill that position first.
Yeah. So I think it's great here.
Okay, so all good
Yeah.
here and we should go to Ben?
Yes, please.
Okay, great. Thank you, Orhana. Ben, how do you feel about the order and your experience on the ground with trying to fill these positions?
I think so far with the app scribe. I
Uh-huh.
would have wanted to bring that down, but I noticed that that is a totally different category. So we that might not be compared to the vaccine or the lab. But I
Hmm.
think the app scribe is something though hard to do, but people might be um, looking at going into that without we not having to explain to them yet, even though when they are signing up. One good thing too I forgot to mention about the app design is when they are signing up for the contract, that question mark icon on every role where they can read more about the role. It gives them a chance to have an overview of what they are signing up for, to really know if it is something that falls within their scope of work or their expertise before they go into that. So that is
Right.
a good thing to have there. So if everyone is actually able to go through that, it actually puts them in a position or category that they best fit in.
Hmm.
But the Abscribe, they are the non-medical,
Right.
and the float and the vaccines team, they are medical team. So they are two different categories altogether.
Hmm.
So
I guess which
yeah.
one do you think will be harder? I think again, this is the we're going to have the top 10% submit their requests first. So this is
Yes.
our top nurse. And if they choose app scribe, they will not be doing vaccines or float.
Yes. Good. So since that is a totally different thing from the medical, we
Hmm.
might anyone who sees that first, we might have our nurses or some of our good nurses choosing that because that is what has popped up first for them,
Yeah,
and they want to
exactly.
secure a spot, so they might choose to be an subscriber. So
Right.
I think we should bring that down.
Okay. Do you
Yes,
think where do you
to
want to
to
see
just
it?
be in this um
You want to go below
be,
vitals?
below vitals.
Do you want to go, but what about inventory management contractor? This is the row five individuals who are distributing the ivermectin, they're distributing the pads, the condoms, controlling the inventory and checking the boxes before they return the phone to the front with the runner. Do you want them below the inventory manager or do you want them above that?
I would want them just below vitals.
Just below vitals, like here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Aside that, the other ones, I'm okay with that because I really agree with the team is a delegate one, that it even states there that a person should be able to do almost what the other medical contractors should be doing. So I'm okay with the other order.
Okay, so you're good with all the other order.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and look for some thumbs up. Uh, who is Salam? Are you, Warhana, you're good here? Okay, great. And Salam, are you good here? Or do you have questions or concerns? You're good? Okay. And Ben's good. Perfect. We all come. And I mean, I personally don't have any say in this because I'm not on the ground. So I think this is, and the president probably feels the same way.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, great. So then, this is the registration roster talking about it. This is the right. So once they register, essentially they check all based on the list. We fill them in that order. They get the response that says what they've been assigned to, and then they have the ability to remove their name or cancel the registration. So this is as soon as they cancel the registration or opt out, uh, the position immediately becomes available again, and uh, it can be filled by the next person. So let's say we have a phone runner who realizes they have a doctor's appointment on that day that they can't cancel, or something else comes up, other work, school, whatever. They can just go into the Shield app, remove their name from the agreement. They're still qualified to do a phone runner, for example, or vaccinations, but from this event, they remove their name from the hat, if you will, or from the line, and then it immediately becomes available for someone else to sign up for. So hopefully that will prevent the no-show problem. And is what we'll do is when we run the report for the buses the night before or whatever, that's when we can push people to say, hey, we've still got openings. Please sign up in Discord. That will be a manual step, but that'll be done by whoever's managing the event, which will be most likely Elizabeth in this case.
When they, I have a question. So
Yeah.
when they do get changed, if they, deselect their name, does the individual who moves into their spot get notified, or is that up to the contractor to check? Okay, I'm still doing vitals.
No, nobody else will. So let's take myself. Let's take Moses.
Okay.
Let's take Moses. Moses goes in and he submits 3 things that he's willing to do. He's willing to consult, he's willing to do vaccinations, and he's willing to draw blood. Okay, great. So when he submits, the first one, consult, is already full. So he drops into the vaccination ones. He gets the response saying he's going to be doing vaccinations on the day. Great. Now, a week before the event, he finds out grandma gets sick and he has to travel. He can no longer do the event. So he goes into the Shield app. He sees there that he's still registered to do vaccinations. He clicks this cancellation, remove my name button, cancel my registration. When he does, immediately anyone else who logs in and has the ability to do vaccinations, that becomes, and they do not have a position already, that becomes, they become viable to submit. So at that point, let's say Abbie is someone who's qualified to do vaccinations. She logs in, but didn't have a position because all of the positions were filled. Because it's now 1 week out. She happens to log in. She sees that there's been a cancellation and she could submit to take the position that Moses gave up. She submits. At that time, she gets the response saying she's now subscribed for this event as a vaccinator.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does. I just didn't know if it was like automated to where Moses takes his name off and then it rolls up the next person. Or
No,
if it's
because we wouldn't know if they're available.
It's just an open.
It's just an open spot. Right. And so that's why the report, like 1 week out, will be important. The report 2 days out will be important, just to make sure we've got all slots assigned. If we don't, then we reach out to Discord and say, hey, don't forget to check in the Shield app. We have some open positions for this week, the event in 2 days, etc.
Okay.
Is everyone good with that? And does that make sense on how that works? Great. Okay.
Continue on.
Great. Yep. And then so the assignment algorithm, again, the fallback, that's the list that we essentially just made. Then and if the position is full, it says capacity reached to the user. Like if they submit, they wouldn't even see it. But if, for example, 2 people submit at the exact same time, they both were at the same moment in time, one will get the position, one won't. And if there is a rejection, it'll say all selections have been filled. But if everything is filled, they won't even see they won't even see that as an option to submit for. And then the role that they will receive in Discord is contractor. They will not get, vitals. None of those roles will be pushed into Discord. It will be simply contractors. So when the call goes out 2 days before, if they're open positions, we would use @contractor, and all contractors' phones should be saying, hey, there's a message for me, and oh, look, now there's positions available to be filled. And then when they're boarding the bus, this report with the full name of the contractor, their phone number, the event role that they're assigned to, and their Discord user ID will show up on the for Elizabeth at the door of the bus. She will then, the people at the bus will log into Discord, show their Discord ID as their identity, and then they will be allowed on the bus if they're on the list. If they're not, they'll be obviously rejected. And then so that should all make sense. Then these are the clinical encounters and inventory tracking pieces that are going to be changed. So we're going to have the sticky header with the save button, as Warihana pointed out she liked, so that it will always be at the top as people scroll down through the app and are entering vitals or inventory. The authority tracking, this means that the employee ID will be assigned no longer some random name that somebody typed in. This will actually be their ID, which will tie back to an individual's name as well as any other credentials they might have because they actually logged in. The patient search will be based on the government ID. This will include the Ghana ID card, which is still always our preference, which is in this format. An example here. Then we'll add the NHIS member card, which we got a lot of, I think, on our last event, which is the healthcare card. It will be in this format, and then this was just a note that was put in there. I left it because it brought it up. But basically you could check. We won't do this. So everyone just read this and take note of it, and I'm going to delete it because we're not going to check that someone's insurance card is valid. But if you dial 929 pound on any phone, supposedly you can check if that number's valid or that insurance is valid. So we're not interested in doing that. So I'm going to remove it at this time. Yep. And then we'll also be able to search by phone number and last name as well in the search bar. So I should put that, expand phone number and name. Okay, I'll take care of that later. Then demographics. This is one of the things that I talked with Emmanuel. He said that it would be nice if the interface was allowed the individuals taking the height to be able, and that weren't part of the Ghana ID card, the physical card, where they could toggle the feet in inches or the meters and centimeters. So is what'll happen is they'll have the ability in the interface to toggle that feet versus the metric system, the imperial system versus the metric system, and then all the data will be converted from feet to inches when the data is submitted into the back end as the metric system. But again, we're only doing this for people who don't have Ghana ID cards.
Great.
And I still have the action item to convert all of the feet and inches that are currently in, now that Ben's recorded all the data, into the metric system, so that's consistent. So I'm taking that action item. The security warning pop-up is still there saying, hey, don't change this unless you're sure it's on the physical card. Then we're adding logic for the diagnostic tests that if they're positive on any of these, it automatically flags refer positive follow-up checkbox to be true. Because if they're positive, they need medical follow-up, period. And then the inventory, we will log the specific inventory that's been dispensed from row 5. And then if you look at the inventory depletion that we'll be tracking all of these in the Shield app based on what the individual gets. If they're getting malaria treatment, multivitamins, SMC, ivermectin, albendazole, adult or child, pads, condoms, soaps, and wound care. Those will be the checkbox that will take place there at the table 5 as those are distributed. So we'll be able to track inventory. And then we have the outreach and analytics. These are the 3 components that we have, which is the live view, so we can actually see what's being entered. Auto refreshes every 30 seconds, printable by PDF. We have the analytics report, which is the results.html. These are the key performance indicator cards regarding how many pads we've distributed, how many vaccines we've given, etc. We'll have the breakdown. I've got this in here now. We'll also be tracking the number of adults that come through versus the number of children based on the date of birth entry and the 16-year-old number that Salam gave me regarding adulthood. We'll also be checking gender just so that we can better maybe size the number of condoms versus the number of pads in the future that we might need to give out. We'll be tracking positivity rates for hepatitis B, C, and HIV on an hourly basis. Positivity rates overall will be resulting in positivity chart, and then the supply charts based on the societal shield that'll be broken down. Then the IDs that are coming in, will they be cards? Will they be phone? Will they be insurance cards? Will they be date of births? And then all of that will be exportable. Then finally, we have the cumulative report. This is the one that essentially goes to our donors. This is the high level narratives of the 1 to X rates that we're seeing across all events. And this will be printable as well. We'll be excluding the data from 079 as it doesn't conform to the way that we're tracking data. And we'll break that down into the diagnostic shield, the safety blanket, and the societal shield. So these are the major changes coming to the Shield app and the design specification documents. So is anyone at this point have any questions or requests based on this? Hopefully this helps us, again, not only with the collection of data, but with the onboarding of 90 contractors and the maintaining of them in this pool, while also giving preference to those who are leading our charge and believe in the mission.
Excellent. Wow. Very good job. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So
Yeah,
everybody looks like they're all good, which I'm grateful for. Thank you for the
Mhm.
feedback. And that is all that I had on that.
Thank you. Great work.
Thanks. So based on that and the prioritization that's been confirmed for filling positions, et cetera, I'll begin to build this out today. And this is my top priority because we need to get, in addition to getting the budget and that financial transaction over to Salam so he can begin to procure the phones, because this app needs to be done so we can begin to onboard those 90 plus individuals who hopefully will be. And I think one thing that Ben pointed out is that, and I think it's warranted to touch on here, is that once the Shield app has been deployed and without a log on, you're immediately able to do this event contractor application. We will send this out through all sources of media currently. So it'll go out through WhatsApp, it'll go out through Discord, it'll go out through Facebook, it should go out through Instagram, it should go out through LinkedIn. That essentially we're looking to build and have as many event contractor applications submitted as possible, because we need as many people to do these jobs as possible.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah, I think everyone agrees that should be done, and we just got to get it out. And then once it's out and we have everyone here and we start to do the one-on-one interviews, then we'll push them all to Discord and begin to communicate with them. They're primarily only using WhatsApp, only using Facebook when we need the pool to grow.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Good job. Perfect.
Great. Okay, great.
Salam, thumbs up. Ben, thumbs up. Okay.
Perfect. Warihana, yes, thank you.
Excellent. Okay, moving on, wrapping up the meeting. I will work with Elizabeth. I will reach out to her and see how we can best bring on board the 80 plus contractors. So I will reach out to her to figure that out. The workflow. Yeah.
I think the workflow is fully defined now, which is great because we needed that so that we could figure out the counts and all of that. So I think we're good there.
Okay, perfect. The leadership compensation, we confirmed the process for the stipends, and we have that worked out for Simone.
Right, Simone and Elizabeth.
And Elizabeth, yes.
Yep. I need to take the action item to finalize their contracts once the Shield app is released. That is also on my list so we can get them under contract, as their contract will have more duties defined, and it will be clarifying that additional stipend amount that will be there as well. So yeah, so we're good on that.
Okay, perfect. The app updates.
Actually, can the president take that? If I give you the job descriptions and work I've done, can you formalize those contracts and get those two individuals under contract?
Sure.
Yeah. Now, there's what'll happen is, just to be clear, is there'll be Word documents that they sign via email, their personal email, because they won't have actual logins to Smiley to sign anything.
Okay.
So is what we'll do is with their contracts is we'll build those in Word. I can give you what I have. You'll print those as PDFs and have them sign them via their personal email. Then we'll store those as contracts in Smiley once they're signed as PDFs.
Okay. Yeah.
You can take that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
perfect.
Take that
okay, I won't do that.
Okay. And then the connectivity, have we switched the Starlink roaming plan yet, or we're waiting?
Yeah, so this is a good thing to talk about. I let Warihana know yesterday that it all came out in the budget discussion yesterday of Project 05. Warihana, that's why you weren't there. We were trying to figure out how we were going to give access essentially to Elizabeth and the rest of the team. And we said Elizabeth could walk to the office to get connectivity, because even the president is finding it difficult to communicate with her just because of her phone plan and some things. And so that's where we decided to move your unlimited residency plan from your dish to the office dish, so that all of those contractors, as well as Elizabeth, could have that communication level on the ground. As Ben pays for his own when he travels, you would do the same with your ACRA residency, etc. And so in doing that, I don't know if, Ben, you can confirm what date. I had thrown that date out as being after Friday's or Sunday's meeting, but Ben, if you could validate when that contract or how that plays in on moving that plan to the office dish. I don't know. If you guys could just talk about that for a minute, I think it would be helpful on when the move should happen from Warihana's Starlink disk, which she's able to keep now because we don't need the hardware, to the office. What works best there for between Ben and Warihana as far as moving that? Stop.
Oops. Okay, I was speaking to a muted mic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no problem.
the one at the office, I had already changed the plan to Rome. The one which was residential, for the last event we had, so that has been changed to Rome.
And I'm sorry, just to be clear, we're keeping that. Everything's good on that.
Yes, so that will be used when we are going for events, so that is still fine.
I'm sorry, could you refer to what account that's under? Is it Dish 2 or 1 or
Dish 2?
Okay,
Dish
so
2.
Dish 2 is our our event dish on the Rome plan, which is great.
Yes.
And then we have another dish at the office that we're going to put Warihana's plan on.
Yes. That was the one with Salam.
This is dish 3
Um,
or dish 1.
yes. I'm not sure whether it's dish one because you had the one in US. I think was dish one. If I'm right, or that wasn't part of
I'm not sure. We've since canceled that one.
I believe we were dish 4.
I thought we were dish 4 too, but I
Oh,
could
okay,
be.
then Salam's one would be dish one.
Okay.
Yes,
So
then
this is going to be dish 1 will be the new Office Unlimited plan dish, correct?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'd have to switch that plan because the plan was actually, I think it was deactivated or stopped. So that will require canceling the plan on Warehana's end and activating it on the new dish.
Okay.
If
And
yes.
so what are the dates on that are going to work best, Ben? Or
Um
do we just cancel Warahana's today and it expires whenever it expires? And because we're moving to dish 1, the plan to dish 1, we just reestablish the non-roaming residential plan on dish 1.
Yes, I think that would work because if Warehana's own is cancelled today, it will still take to the time of subscription to expire for
Yeah,
the
so
um
okay.
yeah, for the subscription to expire so that we
Yeah.
can then sign up or subscribe to dish one at the office.
Okay, so Ben, uh one thing is please activate dish 1 for the office resident plan.
Okay.
And then Warahana, will you be canceling? I don't know what dish number you are. I'm sorry, but uh, maybe Ben knows. I guess my question is, who will be canceling the subscription for Warahana's dish? Will that be Warahana or will that be Ben? I don't know who owns that account or how that works.
Yeah, I think Warhana would can
Yeah.
cancel that. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll cancel that.
Okay, great. And then it'll expire whenever it expires. But if you could cancel that today, then whenever it expires, and we'll be good.
Okay.
Perfect. So by Ben activating it, dish 1, and Warahana canceling, then it'll be just as if we transferred them. The grace
Yeah.
period won't be the exact same, but it doesn't matter. We're not going to line it up. It doesn't make sense. We need coverage for Elizabeth at the office primarily, and all these other contractors who may not have, that we get on board. Right. And that'll be a question for you and Elizabeth, is that when you do the one-on-one, will that be at the office and a video?
Well, given, I don't know.
Yeah, you'll have to ask that and figure that out.
Her and
Yeah.
I will figure that out.
Yeah, and I think that Warhana, you weren't on the meeting. We didn't even record the meeting yesterday, but we did confirm the office hours, which I'm going to put in the contract. I still have to do this, so I'm going to repeat it for AI now. Is the office hours in Tamale will be Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Is that correct, Salam? Or 8 to 5?
9 to 5. Oh,
9 to 5, yeah.
9 to 5. Okay, so Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. We're going to state this in the contract to the new contractor as a benefit of being a contractor with us, is that they can use this resource for personal use, for any use, uh, by coming by the office at any time. And so we're going to put that in the contract, that 9 to 5 time, Monday through Friday, the office will be open for them to come and use that. And I think Ben also had a volunteer who could sit at the office and keep the office quote unquote secure for these individuals as well, if he or
Yes,
Salam
yes.
wasn't in the office.
Excellent. Great.
Yeah.
Very good. Very
So
good.
again, I'm taking the action item to change the contract to include the office hours when the Shield app submits their application. That's the application I'm revising.
Okay.
The contract I'm revising. Sorry.
That's okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, the board meeting, I'm still working on that. I was with Luke this past weekend, but we decided we weren't able to do the announcements. Can you remind me?
I don't know where that is. I can't remember. That's I have to give that back over to you at this point. I have no idea where it is or what status we're at. You'll need to I don't even know what to do. I have to get this Shield app done.
I will take that as my action item to follow up and see if we can still have that special board meeting this weekend on Sunday. So that's fine.
And with the new version of the Shield app, with it having new components, I will look for testing from Ben, Samir, Simone, and maybe Emmanuel or whoever else will be on the ground as a Shield individual that wants to be trained in the Shield app. I don't know if, Ben, you know who those people are, but I'd like those people to test when this version is released, because it will be a brand new version of essentially everything, while the interface for entering medical data will stay the same. There'll be a lot of changes.
All right, sure. Yeah. I'll get some of them informed. So
Okay.
when it's ready, we can do the test.
Yeah, and I think those individuals that step forward now will obviously be the most trained, uh, and maybe even get a few points in the system to register early for that position if they so want it.
Yeah, sure. Think that's a good one.
Yeah.
Some actually showed more interest with the Shield app. The one example is the Mubarak guy. So I think this is something he'll be interested in. So when it's ready, I'll get him on board to do the test.
Great, great. Yeah, and then you can obviously reward him by giving him some points. I haven't figured out what a lot of points is and a little points is yet. So I just kind of threw those numbers out. So Ben, if you want to think about like, okay, if I give someone 100 points, it's like literally jumping them to the front of the line, or do I need to give them 1,000 points to jump them to the front of the
Okay.
line? Because otherwise we're going to have point inflation and we won't know what's what. So we should try to strategize a little bit about what a normal point increase is, because they'll be getting it from their contract and event participation, and then how we can, move somebody to the front of the line without making them permanently at the front of the line.
Okay, yeah.
So that's something you and Simone can maybe strategize as to, okay, they're getting X number of points per day that they're under contract. If they do an event, they're getting this number of points. Social media, do we give 100 points for? Do we give 1,000 points? I don't know, but everything, just so you're aware, again, everything in the employee points field is based on tens, and it's represented on the interface as 10,000s. So you'll have 10. So giving 0.1 is like giving 100. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so keep that in mind. That's why I say we should be careful to give 100 points, because that might jump them infinitely to the front of the line, and then
Yes, yes.
we'll have to adjust if we find that we don't want them there or whatever. I don't know, but think about that with Simone on how you're going to do that and how points should be awarded, and just let me know if there are changes that I need to make to my numbers, because those should be relatively easy to make.
All right, sure. Yeah.
Great.
Thank you. Let's see. Last thing on the agenda here, Salam. Do you have an update on those boreholes that had not been working? Have you been able to find the caretakers or somebody in the villages to help with the maintenance?
Not yet. I just got an update that yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I just got an update from the caretakers that the second borehole, the old man had returned money for, he has refunded the money to buy the bushing, 180 cedis, but
Okay.
we are yet to have our own engineer go and assess to see if there are other things that need to be fixed to get the borehole to start functioning. And the first one as well, we'll have the engineer go and look at it. So hopefully next week, when the engineer goes to install the Bambuli hand pump for commissioning, we would have him look at the two boreholes to tell us what would be needed.
Yeah. So,
Excellent.
Salam,
Thank you.
really quick, do you see that as a if we have to put resources out because the communities absolutely can't, uh, this one-time exception that they need to be, told, slapped on the wrist and said, don't do this again. We're not going to bail you out. Uh, is that if there's dollars involved, do you expect them to be in addition to Project 5, or do you see them coming on Project 6?
I'll see that coming on Project 6.
Okay. Okay. So hopefully there's nothing there, but if it were to come, it won't come in addition to 5. It will be at 6.
Yes, please.
Okay, great. Thank you for that.
Okay, excellent. That's all that I have. Kevin, do you have anything else?
No, I have spoken too much.
Ben, do you have anything else for us?
No, I don't have anything else, but
Okay.
I was looking at scheduling a meeting with the CTO to discuss the final, but I think we can make that tomorrow if he has time.
Yeah, I wish I could say I will, but so I know you have another outstanding request on me, just like Warihana has an outstanding request with me. But the other one that you have is to get the data for the 04 project
Yes.
data, and that will be hopefully fixed because it's wrapped into the new version of the Shield app deployment.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's why I'm not working on that as particular item. But I would say that I will not be available unless you absolutely need me tomorrow at all.
Oh no, it's not something so urgent. So maybe when you find time, we can definitely meet. Yeah.
Okay, it will most likely be next week. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, sure, that's fine.
Okay.
Because I understand the work from sharing the app description. I was imagining the work that would be put into that.
Yeah, there's a good
Yeah.
bit, no doubt.
Yeah.
And you will be busy testing too, so don't worry. you,
Yeah, sure, sure.
you will be busy as well.
Yeah.
No, it's good. But one good thing is we are going to fix the problem that connection, the current Shield app is having that connection issue. We're going to resolve all of that. So you will get
All right.
closure on that problem as a result of the new version.
All right, that'd be great.
Excellent.
Yes.
Anything else, Ben?
Yeah, no, I don't have anything else.
Okay. Salam, how about you?
No, I don't have anything else. The budget is completed, so yeah, I don't have anything.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it.
Great. We'll
after
take a
this
final
meeting.
look at it and then
Warihana, do you have anything else
the
for the
president
meeting?
will sign it.
I'm thinking that I'll reach out to Haley and understand her fundraising efforts and how I could be of help. Do you think that's a good idea?
I think that's
I
an
do.
excellent idea.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Then I'll do that.
Yeah, that'd be
Okay.
great. Thank you for that.
Thank you. All right. Sorry that the meeting ran so long. I honestly am trying to figure out how to make them shorter. So because 3 hours yesterday, 3 or so hours yesterday, 3 hours today. I know I have a husband that has a lot to say, and I appreciate everything in his brain. But yeah, I definitely, and whether that be maybe, having meetings, a Ghana meeting twice a week. But I am looking at making these meetings shorter because I understand this is taking up a lot of your evening and a lot of our morning and afternoon as well. So I appreciate your patience. I am working on it. And go team. Thank you all for an amazing meeting again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For sure. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye.